now suing Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, her husband, Leslie Sloan, the PR team. And this was something that we expected. Justin Baldoni also ended up suing the New York Times for the article that was published. Now, just to get a little quick timeline of everything in case you guys forgot, although I did cover this like 2 to 3 weeks ago, but some of you guys, maybe you forgot, or maybe you guys didn't watch those other videos. Essentially, what happened was there's a movie. It ends with us. It's based off a book. Justin Baldoni was the director. He was the actor in it. He was the producer. He is like a production company. They were producing it. Blake Lively was the co-star, and that movie kind of went to shit. I mean, it did well in the box office. I think for the budget, it did pretty well for what they sold in terms of tickets. But it kind of went to shit because no one really cares about the movie anymore, unfortunately. And I feel really bad because the author, apparently she had some bad experiences with her other books, having like TV movie adaptations, and just things just didn't work out, or she felt like she probably got scammed or something. Now, with It Ends With Us, it's just unfortunate how whenever anyone thinks about It Ends With Us, we're not really thinking about the book, the movie. We're just thinking about the lawsuit. We're thinking about Blake Lively. We're thinking about Justin Baldoni, all the other cluttered shit that is associated with it. And essentially, I feel like it has just really been sort of tainted. So there was a lot of PR that was happening on both sides, okay? Like Justin Baldoni's team, Blake Lively. But the thing is that the internet really turned on Blake Lively. Now, the question is whether or not that's organic or not. I still think a good amount of it was organic, though, because I still see like all the comments about her today. But essentially, Blake Lively's reputation was kind of tarnished. People saw her as a bully. People saw her as someone that was very unlikable. And so for a while, people did not like Blake Lively. All of a sudden, in December, at the very end of the year, she drops a lawsuit against, she doesn't drop a lawsuit, but it's a complaint that she files with the California Civil Rights Department, where she essentially complains that Justin Baldoni and also another member of the Wayfair team were essentially harassing her and other crew members. And so she felt like they were behind this smear campaign against her, and they tarnished her name as a sort of like a retaliation against her. And so Blake Lively did that. And then a couple days afterwards, she filed a lawsuit with the New York federal court. That same day, Justin Baldoni filed a lawsuit against New York Times because New York Times wrote this article essentially exposing Justin Baldoni. And then Justin Baldoni also got sued by his former PR team. So it's like lawsuits are flying left and right. It's kind of crazy here. I was hoping to do a little more of a polished version of explaining everything. But like I said, there's just so much happening. There's so much happening and so much is going on. So where we are left with right now, we got lawsuits left and right. And now we finally have a lawsuit filed by Justin Baldoni, his Wayfair Studios. Melissa Nathan is on here as well, who was the crisis PR person. Jennifer Abel, who was his other PR person. They're all suing Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and the PR team. So we're going to go over the lawsuit. And, it is a lot of pages. These lawsuits are getting fatter and fatter. But, some of the pages have just like text messages or pictures that take up like half the page. So what I did was I skimmed through this. I read through this yesterday. And I was like, well, I'm going to highlight the parts that we're going to cover in the stream. We're not going to go over the whole thing. But what I ended up realizing, I was like highlighting like all these pages. So I'm sorry, you guys are going to see some green highlighter on here. And we already have this bright ass lawsuit to read, but you're going to see some green highlighting in there. So just in case you're wondering why the hell everything is highlighted, it's because I had the intentions of only covering the highlighted parts, but then I realized I was just highlighting almost every fucking thing on there. Because I think it's important to go over it. All right. Where are we at today? Is the movie any good? I honestly, like, the movie, I was excited to watch it because, like, oh, I haven't seen Blake Lively in anything in a while. I'm gonna watch it. And so I watched the movie. Didn't watch it in theaters, though. And it was just, I don't know, it's okay. I feel like it's, like, decent background noise. I did pay attention to some of the scenes because some of the scenes are really pretty. It's, like, in a flower shop. It takes place in... What city does it take place in? I know they filmed in New Jersey, though. But the setting and the scenes and stuff like that just look really pretty. But in terms of like the movie itself, it was just a meh. I don't know. It's like one of those movies that you're flying on an airplane. You're like, oh, yay, they have like free movies on here. Oh, maybe I'll just check it out and see what's up. So I thought it was whatever. I was not a huge fan of it. It was okay. I don't know. I didn't really like it, but it was entertaining. But I didn't really like it. Does that make sense? Hi Tim, how are you doing today? Hello, hello. The year is gonna be a lawsuit year, ain't it? I don't know. There's just a lot of celebrity stuff happening. I saw there was some Drake stuff that was happening as well, but I didn't take a look at it. Did not take a look at it. I have no idea. Let go. I don't know. I'm not too sure. Hi, Siobhan. How are you doing today? Hey, guys. Yeah, I didn't realize the film made so much money. Yes. For the budget that they had. What was their budget again? What was their budget? It was like 20 million, 30 million. I forgot what the budget was, but I think the film grossed like 250 or 350 in theaters. So technically it did well. It did well. But the film did have because it was based off of a book, the book did have a very large following. It blew up on Book Talk. And so I think a lot of people were like, oh, hey, we're huge fans of the book and let's support by watching the movie. But, I wouldn't be surprised if you guys did not know about the book. I wouldn't be surprised if people thought they were going to watch like a rom-com. And then when they went to theaters and watched it halfway, they're like, wait, what the fuck is this? Like, what kind of, oh my God, I thought this was just like a random like rom-com, like between like, two people. Hi, Samantha. How are you doing today? A Lifetime movie level actress. I disagree with that. I don't see her as a Lifetime movie actress. She's been in some stuff that I liked. I really liked her in A Simple Favor with Anna Kendrick. And what else is there? That might have been it. Oh, Age of Adeline. I liked her in that one as well. But I mean, is Blake Lively a type of actress that can play multiple roles? Not really, not in my opinion. I feel like the roles that she usually plays on is always like very similar ones. It's always like the love interest or I don't know. I feel like the personality is mostly the same. Although in A Simple Favor, she was a little more like kind of like cutthroat. I think that's why I liked her in it. I feel like that's most movies nowadays, though. That's why I don't watch many. LOL. I saw that one. The Sister. Oh, yeah. I actually asked my friend to get that for me. The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. I have not seen that, but I want to check it out. That's how I study. I highlight everything and I realize I'm fucked. Yeah. Yes. I was like, I'm just going to highlight the important parts, but I end up highlighting so much. So we're gonna be covering a lot today. Now there are some other people that already covered this, and I was like, how the hell do they do this in 1 hour? Like, what the heck? So I need to learn how to be, maybe straight to the point with certain things and not just like cover everything. But I think here's the plan. I think on the stream we're gonna try to cover all the stuff that I want to cover. Anything that's redundant, anything that's already been repeated in the former lawsuits, I probably won't really go into like super details. And then if we do a video about this, maybe it'll be a little more condensed, straight to the point or something like that. What's up, Jan? How are you doing today? You guys hear Shiro? He's in here right now. Hi, Shiro. What's up, Shiro? Hello. Are you done working? Can you see him? He's right behind me. The producer is here again. Hi, Go Lucky. I saw you've been playing on Marvels, trying to get the grind on or something, secretly, not even inviting us. Hi, Evil Monster. How are you doing today? Oh, I don't know why I'm putting earbuds on. There's nothing earbuds related. Although today's stream, because we have a lawsuit that we're covering, we're going to go back to this screen, which I like. I don't like it when I'm streaming and it's just like this the entire time. It's too much pressure. Too much pressure. Okay, let me see what's going on with... Are all my chat stuff working? Am I a lawyer? No, I am not a lawyer. I am not an attorney. Rain, hello everyone. What's up, Rain? How you doing today? How's it going? Executive producer looking cute AF as always. What do you think Shiro deserves the PGA mark? Are we giving the PGA mark? A scenic train ride sounds so fun. I definitely want to do Europe sometime soon. Wait, hold on. Did you just see my search history or something? Oh, I gotta pop into a quick train journey. We'll definitely lose signal. I'll see you in a little bit if you're still here. Lauren! Hello. How are you? All right, hopefully you don't lose service, but we'll see. Yeah, I was just looking through Europe train rides, and there's like sleeper car trains, and like some really cool ones. But oh my God, they're so fucking expensive. Like there's one on the Orient Express, and I didn't know the Orient Express actually exists. I thought it was, I don't know, that was a myth or something. But this guy did a thing with his wife on the Orient Express. They paid $9,000 total for this train ride, and it was like a small little like cabin. It wasn't like, like had like a giant bed sprawling out. They didn't have their own bathrooms or anything. It was just a small little cabin where they paid $9,000 for 24 hours. And I was like, oh, I want to go on the train so bad. Is there a way to get on the train but not pay $9,000? I want to go. It looks so cool. It had the glass window view, right? I mean, yeah, you're on the train. You'll always get the glass window view, no? I think I saw that clip. It's not even like the room that looks nice. It's like everything else that looks nice and glamorous. It's like the dining cart and the bar cart area. Like, oh God, it looks so cool. But is there a way? Are there like, I don't know. Are there like replicas of that? Like, can I get on the Orient Express but not pay the Orient Express price? Because it looks so cool. Oh my goodness. But then I was like, oh wait, you know what? If I remember correctly, I think Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, there's one part where in her accusations when she said that Johnny Depp like punched her or something like that. And I think they were on a train. It was like the honeymoon train ride in Southeast Asia or something. So I was like, oh, is that the Orient Express as well? Yeah, there's a few luxury ones left I saw. You can go on the Amtrak. Thanks, Raina. So I don't know, it'd be so cool to go on there, but goddamn, they're so expensive. There has to be an affordable version. Like one where you pay, I don't know, like 500 maybe 500 just for the experience. Like, oh gosh, it just looks so cool. Anyway, sorry, I'm like, what's going on here? We have a long ass lawsuit to cover. All right, Courtney, get it together. All right, y'all, so let's try our best to do this expeditiously. I don't know though. All right, so I'm probably gonna refilm the recap because I think I did a really bad job, but it's okay. You guys are live stream, you know, you guys are here with me on the live stream. You guys know how it is here. It's a hot mess sometimes. So we have Wayfair Studios. Again, that's Justin Baldoni's production company. We have Justin Baldoni. We have Jamie Heath. I keep calling him James Heath, so I feel bad. His name is Jamie Heath. He is the Wayfair CEO. It Ends With Us, LLC. Melissa Nathan, again, that was a crisis PR that was hired. Jennifer Abel is his PR person who is... you know what? Let's not go into the tangents today because there's so many tangents that we can go on. They are suing Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, the husband, and Leslie Sloan, who is their PR. I don't know if Leslie Sloan does PR for both Reynolds too, or if it's just like Blake. I don't know if she does. They do it for both of them. So, introduction. The following is not a story plaintiffs ever wish to tell. Unfortunately, defendant Blake Lively has unequivocally left them with no choice, not only to set their record straight in response to Lively's accusations, but also to put a spotlight in the parts of Hollywood that they have dedicated their careers to being antithesis of. And that task was always going to be an uphill battle. They never imagined they would encounter it to this degree. So, my first reactions when reading this lawsuit in the very beginning, I was like, it feels like it was sort of written by a lawyer, but then most of it was written by, I don't know, PR team. Because obviously they're trying to appeal to the public. They want to win in the court of public opinion. And so when I'm reading parts of this lawsuit, I'm like, I don't know. I could do it without the embellishments. Or like when there is something that's obviously bad, you don't need to harp on it over and over again. The audience themselves, let them come to that conclusion. You don't need to like blatantly be yelling and screaming like, oh my God, look at this, this is horrible. Isn't it horrible? I told you it was horrible. Like the audience is smart enough. Okay, we can draw to these conclusions. So when I'm reading this, I think there's a lot of PR. I don't know, someone in PR is like rewriting this or something like that. Or maybe Justin Baldoni or maybe some members of his team are like coming in. They're like, hey, can I rewrite this portion to make it a little more appealing, more of like a storytelling to the public out there? That's my reaction that I got. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you disagree. Number 2, had Lively chosen to merely write out on the self-inflicted press catastrophe she faced in August 2024. So again, they're saying that like, oh, we had nothing to do with it. So Blake Lively did it to herself because of the way she promoted the movie. Although in her complaint, she said she did it that way because that's how Sony told her to do it. And then the issue was that people thought she was or had a history of being a bully, especially with that interview that she did with, I think it's pronounced Shasti, I think. I think that's how she said it's her name is pronounced. Shasti Flaw. When that interview came out, a lot of people were like, ooh, Blake Lively. Now, a lot of people turned on her. The public would have likely moved on and never known the truth about her. I don't know if the public would have moved on. I don't know. I think her reputation was quite tarnished. And it was so bad to the point where her Instagram, I think till this very day, is still on limited comments. Or at least up until the December lawsuit or complaint that she filed and the lawsuit that she filed afterwards, I still think it was still unlimited. I don't know if the public would have really moved on. Like, I think everyone would still have the perception that Blake Lively was a bully. And systematically robbed plaintiffs, Justin Baldoni, Wayfair Studios, of their movie. No one except the parties involved would have known that she used threats, extortions to relegate the colleagues she once highly praised to a basement to sit out their own premiere. When they described having Justin Baldoni, his family members, his friends, the team, how they were like shoved in this basement during the movie premiere, the way they described it was so bad. There are pictures in this lawsuit. It looks just as bad as how it was described. Just as fucking bad. While she enjoyed the spotlight of the premiere and after party that was ultimately co-financed by both Wayfair and Sony, she would have gotten away with these things and more because Baldoni focused entirely on seeing the film succeed, would have held his tongue as he had through the year and a half that Lively tormented him, his family, and his partners. Number 3, but Lively could not tolerate her public tainted image for even a moment, and further could not accept that it was entirely of her own making. She needed a scapegoat. And rather than admit and take accountability for her own mishaps, she chose to blame plaintiffs in a malicious, unforgiving public manner when she and Ryan Reynolds could not force Baldoni and Wayfair to read a statement she and her reps prepared. I wonder if the statement's in here. It'd be really interesting to see it. She extorted them to take accountability in defense of Lively's actions. She lay in wait for months, preparing to publicly attack Baldoni by falsely claiming that he had sexually harassed her. The same falsified story she had been calculatingly devised and used throughout the production of the film in order to take control were now being used publicly to destroy Baldoni and the plaintiffs. So they're essentially saying that she lied about everything. Now, before, when I was reading the other lawsuits and the complaints, I was like, oh, maybe it's just a misinterpretations of certain actions or certain words or how things were said. Maybe things were just taken the wrong way. No, in this lawsuit, it's straight up just saying the version of events that she gave are completely fucking different or it didn't happen at all. So we're essentially just saying that like each side is lying, okay? It's not just like, oh, it could have been construed in a different way. No. They're just saying that basically both sides are lying. Number 4, Lively stole Wayfair's movie, hijacked Wayfair's premiere, destroyed plaintiffs' personal and professional reputations and livelihood, aimed to drive the plaintiffs out of business entirely. It further appears that Lively worked for months with equally powerful New York Times to prepare a false... Oh, by the way, speaking of New York Times, CNN, have you guys been watching the defamation lawsuit? I just saw that the jury did find them liable of defamation. And I think they're now in phase 2 of the trial. Anyways, I don't think anyone's really covering it, but I think I've been watching bits and pieces of it. It's pretty interesting. I kind of want to watch the part where the judge blows up at the attorneys with you guys, because I've never seen a judge do that before. Well, I'm lying. There was another judge that went completely off bonkers, but no, there was 2 judges that I've seen so far that went a little bit bonkers, but this judge did it in a way that was like still kind of professional, but oh my God, did he completely go off on the attorneys? Oh, I don't know. I kind of want to watch it with you guys to see what you guys think about it. Hi, Joseph. How are you doing today? Hey, is it Ami or Amy? How are you doing today? Hello. Oh, Taxi's here as well. Kay, how's it going? Kurt, I feel the lawsuits are to get the accusations and press regardless of the truth. Yeah, like I feel like all they're doing right now is they really are just trying to turn the public opinion. So they want the public to be on their side. They want to get all this out before the court or the trial even happens. I say have a fucking trial. Although there might be some... I don't know if we'll get to trial, but I think at this point we kind of have to. Okay, so they're accusing Lively of stealing, hijacking, driving them out. Not surprisingly, Lively prepared an administrative complaint with the Civil Rights Department in California in an attempt to use litigation privilege to shield her behind-the-scenes conspiracy with the New York Times. But upon information believed, the CRD complaint was filed only after the defendant spent months feeding falsehoods to the New York Times. So this is kind of an interesting way to phrase it because, number 1, feeding falsehoods to the New York Times. So if you guys remember, Justin Baldoni is suing the New York Times. Justin Baldoni is saying that like, hey, New York Times, you said that you had access to all the text messages and stuff. And then given that you knew the truth, you falsely created a false narrative about me. And then you continue to, you put it to press. But now, I don't know. I'm a little confused at this part here because they're saying that Blake Lively spent months feeding falsehoods to New York Times. So what is it? Did Blake Lively give New York Times the actual truth, the actual evidence, and New York Times completely ignored it and then published a false story? Or did Blake Lively give a false narrative to New York Times and give like redacted text messages, and then they thought that was the truth and they went ahead with it? I don't know. That to me seems a little bit of a interesting question that I have. Feeding falsehoods to the New York Times, intending that they be disseminated to damage plaintiffs. Lively delivered the CRD complaint to plaintiffs over the Christmas holiday, rather than promptly filing a lawsuit. Lively, on the other hand, on information belief, leaked the typical private CRD complaint to the public, utilizing the New York Times as the conduit for her revenge. The CRD complaint, and upon information and belief, the false information delivered to the New York Times before the CRD complaint was filed was rife with lies and doctored evidence. Lively then waited 11 days to file against the plaintiffs in what seemed to be a desperate move after the public questioned why she never filed a civil lawsuit. From what Legal Eagle said, and there was another, I think it was like Vanity Fair or something, they said that typically when you're filing a complaint to the California Civil Rights Department, either they do their own investigation or they kind of give you like the blessing to sue. So I don't know if that was what happened, if she was just waiting for that. I'm not really quite sure. I just remember hearing that from the some of the channels that I watch, or the article that I listened to. Some of the channels that I watch or the article that I read, what I meant to say. So they're trying to say that like, oh, well, the reason why she's filing the lawsuit now is because people are wondering why the lawsuit was never filed to begin with. On information belief, Lively never intended to file a lawsuit, which would have triggered plaintiff's right to discovery, including obtaining evidence and deposing Lively under oath. So they're basically saying that she filed this complaint as a show. That way she can show, hey, here's the evidence that I have against Justin Baldoni. Here's my complaint, but I'm not filing a lawsuit because if I file a lawsuit, then we have to go through the discovery process. However, I'm pretty sure, I feel like Blake Lively, when she filed the complaint and it came out with the New York Times and all that, wouldn't she have anticipated that Justin Baldoni would have sued her, and then there would still have to be a discovery process anyways, right? I would feel like they probably thought of that, like, hey, you know, if I go through with this, New York Times is going to cover it, you know, there's a chance that Justin Baldoni is going to end up suing me anyways, and then I have to give my text messages, emails, and whatever the fuck it is, right, call records. So, I don't know. I mean, By the time Lively actually filed a lawsuit against the complaints, the damage to the plaintiffs was done by virtue of Lively's months of colluding with the New York Times on false and malicious narrative, unshielded by any privilege. Yes, I can see that, because people had negative opinions about the people that were working on his PR team. Justin Baldoni had an award that was rescinded. He had a co-host on a podcast. She quit, and he was dropped by... It was dropped by something. It was dropped by a company. Was it WME? Was that who dropped him? I think it was WME. The damage to the plaintiffs were done by virtues of blah, blah, blah. Okay. Make no mistake, these actions were deliberate. Plaintiffs have no choice but to fight back, armed with only the truth and the mountain of concrete evidence disproving Lively's allegations. Heartbreakingly, a film that Baldoni envisioned years ago would honor the survivors of DV by telling their story, with the lofty goal of making a positive impact in the world, has now been overshadowed beyond recognition, solely as a result of Lively's actions and cruelty. I do agree with that. I think the movie has been overshadowed, and no one really talks about the movie anymore. They're just talking about the whole lawsuit that's happening back and forth. LL says, please talk about the Sienna case more. It's fun to watch. That would require me to have to watch the entire trial. I don't see any channels doing recaps or anything like that, which would be really nice too. But I don't think like Court TV and Law and Crime, I don't think anyone's doing recaps. So I have been watching whatever Law and Crime is pushing out, though, because it is very interesting. I was just going to say Nice Pool cracked me up. Yeah, I thought the Nice Pool thing was really funny. I got to rewatch the movie now. You don't think that Blake was actually thinking that he would actually fight back? I mean, if those allegations and lawsuit were completely false, I feel like Justin would have no choice but to file a lawsuit against her. What I thought was kind of interesting, though, so this lawsuit that he filed against Blake Lively, it's not a counter lawsuit. Remember how with Johnny Depp, when he sued Amber Heard, she filed like a counter lawsuit. And I think he sued her for like 50 million. Then she like countered with like 100 million. So I thought it was kind of interesting how he didn't do he just filed his own lawsuit instead of doing like a countersuing thing. But I don't know, maybe there's some sort of tactic here that I don't know about. Number 6, Lively wields immense power as one of the world's best known celebrities. In 2024, she used that power to seize control of the film It Ends With Us, produced and co-financed by plaintiff Wayfair and directed by Baldoni, who also portrayed the lead Ryle. She set out to destroy plaintiffs' livelihoods and businesses if they did not bend to her incessant demands, and when they refused to give way, she did exactly that, accusing them of foul and reprehensible sexual misconduct. Wayfair was blindsided when Lively, upon conclusion of the industry strikes, refused to return to production absent the company's agreeing to her non-negotiable protections for return to production. That insinuated misconduct had occurred during filming, which, as evidence will establish, did not. Wayfair was equally blindsided when Lively leveraged this document, essentially signed under duress to seize control of the film, ultimately getting her own cut of the film and a coveted PGA mark, and at her command, ousting Baldoni from all the marketing and promotional efforts, with many of the cast members and the author, all of whom he, until then, had long-withstanding positive relationships with. I want to hear from the cast members. I want to hear from the author. Why did they all decide to unfollow Justin Baldoni? What happened there? It seems like Colleen Hoover, who's the author, seems like she was kind of cool with Justin Baldoni because he purchased the rights to it. It was like, 5 years before they began filming. I wonder what happened. Was there shit that was happening on set that people didn't like, and that's why they didn't like Justin Baldoni? Or did Blake Lively get in their heads? Like, what was going on here? Number 7, Lively's exclusion of Baldoni from the promotion of the film backfired as she chose to callously promote her hair care and her alcoholic beverage products rather than bring attention to survivors of DV. The entire premise of the film, Baldoni, now prohibited from attending ever events and taking photos with Lively and the cast, promoted the film as he always intended ever since he began the process of making the film years ago. So I remember in Blake Lively's complaint, they were trying to say that, like, well, actually, Sony told us to promote the film a certain way, which was to focus on the positives, right? Not talk about the dark stuff, not talk about DV and all that. And they were saying that Blake Lively played game with that, and even Justin Baldoni played game with that. It wasn't until Justin Baldoni realized that Blake Lively was getting backlash that he decided to take that and then pivot from how he was marketing the movie. However, I've never seen. I was trying to find videos of him promoting the movie before the whole August event. So I don't know if he was kind of like Blake Lively the way he was promoting it, or if he was sort of following Sony's rules and then he did make a pivot. I don't think there's any issues with getting feedback from the public and then changing how you would market something. If you're marketing something a certain way and the public fucking hates it, then okay, then change your tactics, right? But Blake Lively was trying to say that oh, well, the reason why he did it was because he was doing it just because it was advantageous for him. He cared about his perception, the outlook. It wasn't because he cared about victims of DV. So I don't know. I feel like it can go either way. Number 8, when Lively faced significant public backlash for what was often referred as her tone-deaf and insensitive press tour of the film, she doubled down on her false and misleading accusations against Baldoni. She seemed determined to make Baldoni the real-life villain in her story. Her publicist, Leslie Sloan, went so far as to propagate malicious stories portraying Baldoni as a sexual predator, a term Lively's husband, Ryan Reynolds, also used to describe Baldoni when he called Baldoni's own agent. Modern society just reviles sexual harassers and abusers, and Lively knew full well that making those allegations would be a career death sentence for plaintiffs. Modern society also hates people that make false accusations, and I'm sure Lively knows that full well, so she better have some evidence to back it up if there is any. Especially given that Baldoni has lived his private and public life as an impassioned advocate for gender equality and healthy masculinity. She did not expect, however, that plaintiffs would be able to meet those allegations with concrete documentary evidence disproving her claims and demonstrating that they, not Lively, were the targets of a calculated and vitriolic smear campaign. Gosh, I mean, really? She didn't expect that he would have evidence? She didn't expect that he would have text messages, emails, or anything on his phone, on his, I don't know. That evidence included in part herein is the basis for plaintiff's claims against the defendants for the extortion, defamation, and further wrongdoing. Number 9. The film was hotly anticipated adaptation of the worldwide best-selling book by Colleen Hoover, and starring in it as Lily. Lively stood to enhance her already considerable star power, but she was not content merely to headline one of the year's biggest movies. Biggest movies? Are we sure about the biggest movies? Instead, apparently driven by overweening ambition and a need for control, Lively eventually leveraged her power as a wealthy celebrity to wrest the reins from her co-star and the film's director, Baldoni, insisting on total control of every aspect of the film she can get her hands on, from wardrobe, marketing strategy, to music, even creating her own cut of the film. Yeah, she basically, I don't know, maybe they're complaining that she didn't earn her PGA mark, but it seemed like she ended up taking over and fucking did almost like everything. Wild. Not only did Lively's power play cost numerous people their jobs, but at every turn, her wrong-headed creative decisions reflected her fundamental lack of understanding of the film the film was based on. This came as no surprise to her ward colleagues, given that even well into production, Lively had not even read the book. So there are parts in this lawsuit where I feel like they are hoping the public will take some sound bites from it and then like enhance it either in articles online or maybe like on YouTube videos, like, oh my God, Blake Lively didn't read the book. Can you believe that she didn't read the book? I don't know. I feel like I've seen multiple actors and actresses who are in movies that are like adapted from books and they're like, yeah, I didn't read the book, but I read the script or something, you know? So like, I don't know if it's a big deal that she didn't read the book. I think what would have been a big deal if she fucking lied about it. She was like, oh yeah, I read the book. The book was so good. Oh my God. Ah. And then you find out that, oh God, this bitch didn't even read the book. But the fact that she didn't read the book, I don't know if that's a big deal to me. Unless she represented her way. Unless she misrepresented and she said that she did read the book. Well, I don't know. All right, September 14, 2023, text message from Baldoni to Heath. That we are rooting to see her fulfill. After rereading the book, which had 150 pages to build on the relationship, we have combined scenes to heighten the stakes for Ryle in pursuit of Lily, utilizing humor and his desire to sleep with her. While I understand Blake's reason for not wanting to read the book does a very good job in getting in Lily's mind. Number 10, Lively's disastrous marketing efforts and tone-deaf press interviews and appearances backfired and led to widespread criticism of Lively's promotional approach to the film's highly sensitive focus on DV. Past videos of Lively resurfaced online where they called her an insensitive mean girl, that she cared more about promoting her products rather than acknowledging DV survivor community. Social media commenters were quick to point out that her tying of alcoholic beverages was in particular poor taste, given the WHO estimates that 55% of domestic violence incidents are linked to alcohol. Unbelievably, Lively made this harmful and irresponsible message worse by naming a drink at her premiere party, Ryle, You Wait, after the character who committed domestic violence in the film. The suggestion that Wayfarer caused the online backlash against her is absurd, given the evidence of her own insensitivity. Yeah, I don't know. Does she not have she has PR? I don't know. Where's her marketing team at? Why are they not telling her like, hey, let's not promote your fucking products right now? Her hair care line, I know she purposely made her hair care line come out when the movie was out, right? Because it all aligned. It was all in the, the August timeline? But the fact that she was promoting her products and then what would have been a better way for her to promote her products? One, probably not promote the alcohol one. Let's axe that one. But the hair care line, maybe say hey, my hair care line, 10% of the proceeds are going to go to victims of DV, blah, blah, blah. Maybe do something like that. I don't know if she did. Maybe she did. Maybe she did and I missed it. But, if she really wanted to promote her product and then use this film as a way to boost it, then say that you're going to give some of the proceeds to, victims of DV or something like that, to an organization. I think that could have really helped her a lot. Or just don't promote your shit. I don't know. I didn't see her promote her hair care line, though. I know she pushes her alcohol stuff a lot. 11. Sadly, this backlash could have been avoided had she not refused to meet with the film's DV partner organization, nomore.org, as Baldoni had offered. Even a brief visit to her website or simply online search would have been readily uncovered this and other information on the topic of DV. Meanwhile, Baldoni, whom Lively herself had ensured was excluded from participating in her marketing efforts, was safeguarded from his backlash as he focused on amplifying the voices of those affected by DV, as originally intended when he reached out to the author, Colleen Hoover, 5 years earlier. Also, I don't think, to me, it doesn't... I know that Lively's team was trying to say that, the reason why Justin Baldoni really started pivoting towards highlighting voices of people who are affected by DV, or, talking about the actual topic itself. I think it aligns with everything that he's done in the past. So for me, I don't think he was just doing it just for, oh my gosh, Blake Lively's getting shit. Well, here, let me pivot and make me look like the good person. I felt like that was already something that he was already kind of doing. Because we'll go into his history, type of other movies that he's done in the past. So I felt like, maybe they think it's not genuine. I don't know if it's genuine or when I'm on the head of fucking Justin Baldoni. But based on his past history, it seems like this is something that he typically does do. So it doesn't, surprise me if he's like trying to boost the voices of victims. Where am I? Baldoni's sincere efforts will receive even more so in contrast to Lively's campaign to downplay the premise of the film and sell hair care and alcohol products. Lively, enraged that her plans were foiled and armed with proof of alleged sexual harassment in the form of a 17-point list of demands she had required the plaintiffs to sign just months earlier, focused her rage on Baldoni, blaming him for the consequences of his own missteps. Hi, Corky. Hi, Neko. How are you doing today? How's it going? I'll be waiting for your stream for all the tea. Hello, hello. How's it going? I hope you're doing well. Goodbye. She didn't read the book, so she didn't know how to market the movie, but she read the script, though. She read the script. I think that Sony, you know what? I don't even know why Sony would even market this movie this way. To me, that doesn't even make sense. Wouldn't have been important to be like, I don't know. Like, it's so weird. I don't understand how they're like, okay, well, let's focus on the flowers. Let's focus on the fashion. Or did Blake Lively take Sony's direction and then made it her own interpretation of it? Like, who the fuck told her to talk about fashion and flowers and all that stuff? Like, yes, I know it's Lily Bloom. Her name is Lily Bloom. She owns a flower shop, blah, blah, blah. Flowers was part of the theme and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's, gosh. There's just so many missteps. And I just wonder, why was there no one out there saying like, hey, maybe this is not the best way to promote the film? I don't know. It's really weird. Maybe they thought that they can just get away with pushing the movie as a rom-com or some shit like that. Possibly. 13. Meanwhile, Stephanie Jones, founder of Jones Work, Wayfair and Baldoni's... Oh, hold on. Hi, Bleep. How are you doing today? Hey, Vert. How's it going? Let me remind myself to drink some water. Hey, Corky, how are you? Hope you're safe there. Yes, we are doing okay so far. They are containing the fires. Live your Slipknot, by the way. Oh, I thank you. I heard sniffles. Well, what happens is sometimes when I talk for so long that my nose just gets like a little bit runny. I don't know. I forget to breathe properly. Does that happen to you guys? All right. So now we're talking about Stephanie Jones. Again, Stephanie Jones has also filed a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni and then her former employee and then Melissa Nathan as well and Wayfair. All right. So let's talk about Stephanie Jones. Her increasingly erratic behavior had not only driven away high-profile clients, but also her right-hand woman, Jennifer Abel, who oversaw the Jones Work Los Angeles office. Jones' behavior grew more and more bizarre as she lashed out at loyal clients like Wayfair in rage-filled rants and veered away professional experience and strategy when making critical decisions affecting Jones Work's clients. After a final outburst against Wayfair in which she outright refused to comply with their direct instructions, Wayfair had no choice but to cut ties with Jones and Jones Work rather than leave their public image in the hands of what appeared to be an out-of-control Jones, whose actions were not aligned with Wayfair and Baldoni's worldview and wishes. Jones was filled with impotent rage at Wayfair and Abel, who a month before had announced her decision to leave Jones Work to form her own company. Jones saw that as an opportunity for revenge, and she took it. So again, they're trying to say that like, oh, Jones Work was initially, so Jones Work is Justin Baldoni's PR team, right? However, he was assigned to specifically Jennifer Abel. Jennifer Abel planned on creating her own company. She planned on quitting. She was going to have her own PR company. And they're essentially saying that Stephanie Jones took revenge. She was very unhappy about this. 14. On information belief, Jones, Lively, Reynolds, and Sloan, Lively's publicist, and others concocted a plan whereby Jones would seize Abel's phone upon her departure and mine it for messages stripped of context could be used to concoct a false narrative that a disastrous press conference of Lively's callous and opportunistic comments and the public reaction to those comments were not Lively faults at all, but at the result of a calculated, though in reality non-existent, smear campaign by Baldoni and his team. I don't know. I feel like how it happened was probably, from what I've read so far, it seems like it's possible that Jennifer Abel was planning on quitting Jones Work, right? Her boss, what's her name again? Stephanie Jones. Her boss, Stephanie Jones, was getting alerts from the IT department. They're like, hey, Jennifer Abel is downloading weird things that she's not supposed to have access to. And so at some point they're like, okay, well, we need to fire her ass now. So they fire her, they seize her phone, they take it back. And then she probably looked through the phone to see what else that she could have possessed, like what other documents she maybe have stolen, or she was like talking shit about her to clients or something like that. I don't know. Like they went through her phone and then they probably came across this whole Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni thing. And then maybe they took it upon themselves to give it to Blake Lively. It was like, hey, Blake Lively, like I had a former employee engage in this. I did not greenlight it. I had nothing to do with this, but I just want to let you know about this. Because they were trying to wonder, they're trying to guess how the hell did Blake Lively and her team, when she filed her initial complaint, how the fuck did she get these text messages? And her team said, they're like, oh, it was through a subpoena. I was like, was it through a subpoena? Or did someone come to you and was like, hey, I got a fuck ton of text messages and emails. You might be interested. Here you go. Take this and do what you want with it. And then that's where all these lawsuits came. Hi, Maninja. How are you doing today? Hi, Richie. Hello. How's everyone doing today? How's it going? Doing okay-ish. Past 3 days, I had this like major ass kink in my neck that caused major ass headache. Ooh, yikes. Were you like sitting weird or sleeping weird maybe? I was having lower back pain when I was sleeping, and it's because I've been hunched over my fucking desk. So I gotta remember to like get up and stretch and all that. You're ready for 5 p.m. Oh, you're at work right now? It's okay. You can multitask. Just multitask. We'll make your work go by fast with this lawsuit. Because, this actually gets really entertaining at some parts. There are parts where I did laugh quite a few times because of how they painted Blake Lively and how they showed how people were just annoyed about her. So it does get a little bit more crazier here and there. Though Lively claimed Baldoni was the one smearing her, the reality was that Lively and her team, who carefully planned and implemented a vile smear campaign against Baldoni and Wayfair to deflect attention and blame for Lively's disastrous misjudgments, Lively would recast herself as a long-suffering martyr by portraying Baldoni and Wayfair as her persecutors, the masterminds behind a smear campaign that evidence would show did not exist. Vision was all too willing to carry out this strategy. So that's the PR company of Blake Lively's. Especially once armed with the ammunition by Jones, who provided the text messages and the emails, who was bent on revenge against ex-employee and former client. Got a footnote here. While it is not entirely uncommon to request that exiting employee return company property, it is not often the case that personal phones, phone numbers, and communications received, made public, weaponized against the employee and the company's own clients. Number 16. Shortly after the film's premiere, the public backlash against Lively, together with her husband, Ryan Reynolds, demanded through their talent agency, which also represented Wayfair and Baldoni, the plaintiffs publicly apologized for the so-called mistakes during production in order to deflect the avalanche of negative media coverage of Lively. Reynolds and Lively drafted a statement. I want to see the statement. Where's the statement at? They drafted a statement and demanded that Baldoni, Wayfair, and Heath issued that statement, requiring them to apologize to the public and fall on their own sword. Despite having done nothing wrong or else the gloves would come off, multiple WME executives acknowledged that in their experience, Lively and Reynolds' threats were not to be taken lightly, though admitting to false, vague, and unspecified mistakes would be tantamount to admitting to a career-ending misconduct. So were they trying to get Justin Baldoni and his team to say that the reason why Baldoni was no longer promoting with the rest of the team was due to the mistakes that happened during the production of the film? I want to see this letter. What do they want him to say sorry to? Because I would be confused. Like, if I was just about to be like, what am I saying? What am I saying sorry to? Assuming that he didn't do those. He did not do any of those allegations. Was it just like, oh hey, like I don't know, because at this point, when the public was already turning against Blake Lively, it was from the videos that resurfaced about her. What could Justin Baldoni apologize about that? Unless they wanted him to apologize for, hey, I'm the one who created the fake narrative that Blake Lively is a bad person. It's all my fault. Like, I don't know. That wouldn't have made sense, though. Number 17. Lively, working with her husband, her publicist, and Jones, among others, set out a campaign to tar and feather plaintiffs in the press. They conspired and worked in concert with the New York Times to put out a blockbuster news report as devastating as it was false. They advanced a fabricated narrative in the press that plaintiffs had sexually harassed Lively, then embarked on a calculated malicious smear campaign to destroy her reputation as retaliation for daring to complain about the harassment. Defendants laid their traps carefully over a period of months before springing it all once on the eve of the winter holidays. Just as plainly, they knew full well that their claims were entirely baseless because their own wrongful obtained evidence proved that neither the alleged sexual harassment nor the accompanying smear campaign against Lively ever existed. Yet, Lively moved forward with her plan with ruthless precision and doubling down in the face of abundant evidence, casting doubt on the veracity of her story. Lively even went so far as to serve her lawsuit on Los Angeles-based defendants as they evacuated their homes in the midst of a devastating fire, engulfing their city. On a day when defendants were gathering their kids and pets, preparing to go bags, monitoring evacuation orders while fearing for their lives, Lively, from the safety of her penthouse in New York, deployed process servers in the midst of these troubling times. So, I don't know, like there are parts in the lawsuit, like I get it, they really are trying to appeal to the public, but I feel like when you're putting too much in there, I don't know. To me, it just feels like too much. It's like, oh my God, poor Justin Baldoni. Like he was served this, he was too busy trying to evacuate. He has go bags ready. The city was like engulfing in fire and stuff like that. Like, yeah, that does suck. But I don't know. Like, do we really need to include all these details in here? I don't know. I feel like, no. I feel like this lawsuit could be bad enough without just having all these these like extra details in here. And then also when Justin Baldoni was served the lawsuit, I mean, I wonder if Blake Lively was just like, okay, well, here's a lawsuit, go give it to him. And then they just gave it to him at the time where he was available or they were able to find him. Like, I don't know. Like, they're trying to make it seem like, oh, she purposely did it while, like Los Angeles was burning, essentially, just to put him down in the dumps even more if he wasn't already in. Number 18, at bottom, this is not the case about celebrities sniping at each other in the press. I mean, this is a case about two of the most powerful stars in the world deploying their enormous power to steal an entire film right out of the hands at its directors and a production studio. Then, when Lively and Reynolds' efforts failed to win them the acclaim they believe they so richly deserve, they turned with their fury at their chosen scapegoat. Tolerating a year and a half, their behavior from remaining polite and professional at every turn offered Baldoni and Wayfair no protection. Kismet! Hello. The problem with her not reading the book is that she took creative control, made character decisions that were contrary to the script and human experience because she hasn't been in that situation that we know of. I don't know. Unless she has spoken out publicly about this. But I don't know. I'm thinking like how many directors have directed films where they never actually read the book? Like, did Peter Jackson read the Lord of the Rings book, or did he just direct it in his vision based on, the script that was I don't know, like, was he a huge fan? Did he read it? Like, I don't know, just like wondering how many other directors have directed films where they didn't read the book. Would it be advantageous? Probably. I think, maybe if Blake Lively did read the book, maybe she would have second doubts with dressing up Lily Bloom in such glamorous outfits. But I felt like from reading the script, you should have already known that Lily Bloom shouldn't have been decked out of like Louboutins and I don't know, whatever the fuck else that she had, right? It was her friend, the other character, that was decked out and rich and all that stuff. All right, A. Baldoni and Wayfair purchased the rights to It Ends With Us. Baldoni's feature film directorial debut, 5 Feet Apart. Oh, so this is Justin Baldoni's history. Again, like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if Justin Baldoni wanted to focus more on DV when promoting the film because it seems to be something that's like kind of like right up his alley. Something that he's done in the past for, other things. So right here it says Baldoni's feature film directorial debut, 5 Feet Apart, was based on a young woman, Claire Wineland, who lived with cystic fibrosis and courageously documented her plight on YouTube. Baldoni also supports her foundation yearly and remained close with Claire's parents. Baldoni's more recent film was the Wayfair film Clouds, a true story about a teenager with cancer, Zach Sobiek, who finds joyful purpose and inspiration in music. 2019, Wayfair acquired the film rights to It Ends With Us, a Colin Hoover novel published in 2016. In 2021, the novel exploded with popularity thanks to the social media phenomenon Book Talk. Colin Hoover watched 5 Feet Apart in theaters, and she told Baldoni, "You are the right person to make this movie." Hoover, who also suggested Baldoni portray Ryle. So I don't know if we really need to bring this up, but I guess there are some people that were like, oh, well, if Justin Baldoni is going to star in his own film, like he must be a vain person or something, or some sort of like narcissist or something like that. So maybe that's what they wanted to address. I don't know. I feel like this was like kind of like unnecessary. So they're trying to show that like, okay, there's this long back and forth email between Justin Baldoni and Colin Hoover. Basically Justin's like, oh, I'm really excited to work on this. And Colin Hoover's excited. Colin Hoover talks about how she was a little bit hesitant or she wanted to make sure that things were completely done the right way, because before she had been burned before where they like did a crowdfunding of like making one of her books into a film, and her fans like crowdsourced, basically like funded the movie, and then they end up not going with the movie, and the fans just like lost on all this money and stuff like that. So they're just going back and forth, but I'm like, do we really need all this? Like, I get it trying to show context, but I don't know. I feel like this is just like extra stuff that I don't think we needed, but they really want to make sure that the public likes Justin Baldoni. From Colin Hoover to Justin Baldoni, have you given any thought to whether you want an acting role in this? So maybe Ryle. I could see it. Like, I don't know. I didn't have any issues with Justin Baldoni directing and being the actor in his own movie. I mean, it happens. All right, number 24. Wayfair partnered with Sony to co-finance and distribute the film. Their agreement included that 1% of the film's proceeds will be donated in support of survivors to domestic abuse. That 1% was ultimately earmarked for the organization, no more. So again, showing that this is Justin Baldoni's, this is what he typically does. He likes to highlight things that are very important to him. And like I said, it doesn't surprise me if he wanted to focus more on marketing. If he was going to market It Ends With Us, he would talk more about the DV aspect of it, right? In casting Blake Lively, a world-renowned actor, I don't know if I could, would you consider Blake Lively a world-renowned actor? I feel like Blake Lively was known for Gossip Girl, and then she'll randomly just like pop up in like other movies. I don't know if she was like a world-renowned actor though. World-renowned actor, I think of like, I don't know, like Angelina Jolie or something. I don't know. Blake Lively, world-renowned actor? I don't know, maybe. Kismet says she has spoken publicly but not experiencing any of those situations and why she made the character changes. Gotcha. I did not see that. Well, that's kind of weird. Usually as an actor, you want to step into the character that is different than you and your experiences a bit. I feel like she just wanted to play a very glamorous character, okay, who was like dressed up to the nines, all right? I don't know. Like when I was watching the movie, I was like, why is Lily Bloom so decked out in designer brand? It was distracting to me. I don't even know who Blake Lively is. Never heard her name. Wait, really? I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not. Hi, Erin. How are you doing today? I don't know. Maybe she's considered a world-renowned actor. I don't know. Possibly. Okay. Lively had a reputation of being difficult to work with, and Baldoni at the time was not dissuaded and found her to be genuine. B. During pre-production, Baldoni and Lively began a promising and close collaboration. So in this part, they're going to highlight how, before production began, Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively had a pretty good relationship, or at least that's what Baldoni is representing. December 31st, 2022, Lively agreed to take the role of Lily Bloom. As part of her subsequent negotiations, Lively was granted an executive producer credit, which I found out kind of just means like nothing. It's kind of like a way to make the actor feel more important, I guess. Because I always, whenever you would see like, executive producer, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this actor was an executive producer. Like they actually helped film this movie. Like they were a part of it. They made decisions, like crucial decisions. But I don't know, sometimes an executive producer would just be someone who helped like funded it, or like it's just one of those things that's in the contract where it's like, well, I want to be put on as executive producer on this. I don't know. I feel like it's just like a way to just appease the actors, make them feel good about themselves. In the beginning, it appears that Baldoni and Lively would have a positive, collaborative, creative partnership. Baldoni and Lively worked closely in the early days of film, trading ideas about filling key roles in the film's cast and crew. 29. Their working relationship grew close. Baldoni and Lively shared stories and pictures from their lives, commiserated over family illnesses, exchanged jokes and memes. Baldoni offered concern and support when Lively faced family health concerns. They texted almost daily. A friendly banter established a comfortable dynamic that under typical circumstances would have made working together easy. 30. Lively even felt comfortable enough to make silly jokes, redirecting a sweet compliment Baldoni gave. I guess we can read it. Who doesn't like reading text messages? This is May 11, 2023. Justin Baldoni, fist, well played. Blake Lively, I feel the same. It's such a good feeling getting work done that we're proud of and to do it together. It just clicks when we find it. And that's just as rewarding as filming it or editing it or marketing it or releasing it. This is all storytelling. This is why we do it. Blake Lively, thank you for the collaboration. I really am proud of what we're doing. Justin Baldoni, he loved one of the comments. I like sentiment Blake. Blake Lively, never met her. Justin Baldoni, I also like asshole Blake. Don't worry. Okay, good night. Blake Lively, I've met her. So have my suppositories. Good night. Justin laughs at the suppository comment. This was the nature of the relationship, which made Lively's later allegations all the more baffling. True. Because how do we go from this to Ryan Reynolds all of a sudden yelling in Justin Baldoni's face and then having the whole all these allegations launched against Justin Baldoni? Like, what the fuck happened? How do we go from like this to all that all within like half a year? C. Lively begins asserting control almost immediately. 31. Almost immediately, Lively began inserting herself in the production process in intrusive ways well beyond the scope of her contractual entitlements. For example, Lively began to insist on creative control over the character's wardrobe. Yeah, big mistake. I did not like the character's wardrobe, and I'll say that over and over again. While lead actors are sometimes granted approval of the character's general look, they generally do not receive full control over wardrobe decisions without input from the director or producers. What may seem like an innocuous request can in fact have monumental impact on the film production. Ignoring the director's visions for her character, Lively sent hundreds of images to the film's costume designer. The costume designer had to reshop Lively's wardrobe. Lively insisted that her character had money and could afford $5,000 shoes, despite being a fledgling small business owner. This forced Baldoni to rethink the entire script that had been in the works for well over a year. Honestly, I don't know what Lily Bloom's career was before she decided to become a small business owner having a flower shop. I don't know. Maybe she worked in consulting. Maybe she made a lot of money or something. I had no idea. I don't know if in the book they even mentioned what her job was. But all I know was that when she was opening her flower shop, the girl comes in and she's like decked out. She has like an Hermes purse. And Lily Bloom's like, oh my God, like this bitch is rich. And so if you read the book, it made it seem like Lily Bloom was someone who didn't care about designer stuff or didn't really wear it, didn't really own anything. And that when this person came in with her Hermes purse, she was like, oh wow, like, damn. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe she just wanted to wear clothes in her closet that's been sitting in there for too long, and she just wanted to debut it in a movie or something. I don't know. This forced Baldoni to rethink the entire script that has been in the works for well over a year. Yeah, I can see that, because when you're writing about a character that a person that wears like decked out designer stuff could be completely different than a person who like doesn't care about designer stuff, doesn't wear designer stuff, who's someone who sees themselves as someone who's like broke, doesn't have money. That's like a completely different character persona than a person that is wearing like $5,000 shoes. What are the $5,000 shoes? I wonder if the $5,000 shoes was the scene where there's a scene where Blake Lively looks super hot. She's wearing this like low cut V. She's wearing these super ultra high, I think like shoes, high heels. And they just look really crazy to me. I wonder if those were the $5,000 shoes. But yeah, there's a scene where I think she was trying to get Ryle's attention by being super hot. So she like takes off her sweater and then her boobs are out. Are those the $5,000 shoes? Does anyone know? We're curious. Okay, Shaban. Wow, that's kind of weird. Usually as an actor, you want to step into the character. Oh, I did read that already. Hi, Aaron. How are you doing today? Salsa, what's up? Hello. Lord Invocatus. Hello. Now, I like a floor here and there, but it was a lot. Yeah, dude, she was just like decked out in floor. Like, oh my God, let's be so obvious that this movie is about her owning a flower shop. Reminds me, yes, no, it was very Sex in the City. It was very Sex in the City. Like the shoes, the outfits, like ba-bam. Yeah, it was very Sex in the City. Are we pro or anti-Blake? I feel like we're just not there yet. There's so much information that we just need. Even though when I read this entire document, I'm like, we got to have the trial. We need to have the trial. Okay, we need the trial. Elon and Asmongold. Yeah, that shit was hilarious. You don't know the full story, but I can tell it's already stupid. You feel like the movie wasn't even that good. Hi, Molly. How are you doing today? How's it going? Yeah, the movie was, I don't know. It was like, I think like it started getting more like, I think the last third of the movie. The last third of the movie just felt really disjointed and not connected very well. But that's because now we find out that, Justin Baldoni worked on the movie, and then Blake Lively took over, and then she like basically re-edited it. And then when they realized that Justin Baldoni's version scored higher, Blake Lively's editor was forced to put in some of Justin Baldoni's edits back in or something like that. Like, I don't know. I just felt like the last third of the movie just felt super disjointed, and I was like, oh, this is kind of weird. It doesn't really flow very nicely. Rubbish. Oh, I love that word. Rubbish. I'm gonna start using that word. Rubbish. Right, all these like female-led movies and shows are so unrealistic with their jobs and apartments and the clothes. All right, Lively. So 15 minutes away. Oh, okay. So they're trying to say that Blake Lively, annoying, difficult to work with. She was supposed to participate in wardrobe fittings, but no, she had the entire department drive to her like personal penthouse that was like 15 minutes away. It was annoying for them because they had to unpack everything, repack everything, blah, 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 blah. In an effort to maintain harmony at the start of the working relationship, Baldoni and the studio reluctantly ceded. Yeah, I wonder if it's just because they were just, I don't know, was Justin Baldoni just too nice or too scared to just say no to Blake Lively? Did he just want to make her happy? Because, man, you gotta put your foot down. On the first day of principal photography, paparazzi captured and published photos. Oh, okay, so this is going to address the funny part in Blake Lively's complaint, where she was talking about how Justin Baldoni went into like a crying meltdown in her trailer, and I was like, what? What happened? Here's what happened, per Justin Baldoni. So on the first day, paparazzi captured published photos of Lively in character and wearing her hand-picked wardrobe. These images were widely reported as unflattering and sparked a backlash from Sony. Baldoni received direct criticism from Sony, who voiced serious concerns about the impact of these photos on the film's public reception. I think, one of my videos had this. Blake Lively clothes on set. Blake Lively clothes on set. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe, was it this one? I don't know. Maybe this was, is this one of them? Oh. Give me a second. It ends with this. It's like a Reddit post from like 2 years ago. Was this it? These are the kinds of outfits my friends would see me in and gently ask if everything was okay. I think this outfit's kind of cute. It's ugly, but I would wear it. I would wear this outfit. Maybe. I don't know. I would wear it on a day where I'm around my siblings or something. Yeah, no, like just not hitting it for me. No. I don't remember this outfit actually. Yeah, I don't like it either. So I don't know if these are the outfits. Hobo chic, yeah, maybe that's what it is. I think this one's kind of cute. I mean, the boots are ugly, but I could see myself wearing this. Maybe. This is a hell no to me. And this, yeah, I don't know what the hell is this peasant outfit. Okay. So, you know, her outfit choices were, in my opinion, they were questionable. Baldoni approached Lively in her trailer to discuss necessary wardrobe adjustments, resetting the relationship to assert his role as a director and his need to have her approval over her wardrobe. The conversation, while professional, took considerable time and was later grossly misrepresented in Lively's complaint, which falsely characterized exchanges as lengthy outbursts that delayed filming and caused the crew to wait for hours while Baldoni cried in Lively's dressing room. I was just picturing just Justin Baldoni just like bawling, crying, his tears out, locked up in Blake Lively's trailer, was like, oh, I'm not coming out until you say that you're gonna change your outfit. Oh my god, you look so ugly, and oh, my movie is ruined. Like, I don't know, I pictured Justin Baldoni being a diva and overly just dramatic and crying, because in the complaint, that's how they represented it, or at least that's how I took it as. The conversation did not take hours, and any length of time it took was not because Baldoni cried for hours. In truth, rather than take the heat of concerns, the film's distributor and director, Lively, took this time, among other things, suggested Baldoni that he was being gaslit by Sony, Heath, and other producers, trying to convince him to let her continue to take the helm. Baldoni did briefly become emotional during conversation, but only in response to what he believed was a genuine compliment from Lively, praising his work as a director and actor. I could totally see Baldoni crying over this because he seems like a very sentimental person. In hindsight, this was part and parcel of the ongoing pattern of manipulation and gaslighting by Lively, intended to continue to allow her autonomy over her wardrobe. Okay, what is this? Footnote. Notably, Lively has voiced insecurities about the public perception of her casting as Lily Bloom. Lily is described as a 23-year-old young woman and a recent college grad. Yeah, recent college grad. That's right. That's why she wouldn't be decked out in expensive clothes, shoes, purses. And then also she wasn't very close to her family at that point. Her family wasn't rich. I think her dad was like the mayor of the town or something like that. Like, yeah, there's no way she would have been wearing $5,000 shoes. Within the first page of the book, blah, 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 which Lively would have known had she read the book. Oh my God, we're going to throw more shade on Blake Lively not reading the book. Despite having admitted to ordering a copy months before, which remarkably she ordered only after committing to the role on December 20th, 2022. I don't think there's any issues with that. Like, she ordered the book after she committed to the role. Like, that's not a big deal. Nevertheless, when Lively learned that Lily was a decade plus younger than herself in the book, Lively asked the author, Colin Hoover, explain in her public casting announcement that they had decided to age up the book's characters for the film. Hoover did not put a statement out in that way. Lively requested. Lively was not happy. Yes, do we have evidence of this? Lively was not happy? Do we know more about this? I used to think Blake is a man's name. Whenever I think of Blake, I think of the annoying younger brother in As Told by Ginger. The problem is she didn't read it. I don't think it's it's a big deal that she didn't read the book. I honestly don't. I think if she lied about it, then yes, it would have been a big deal. All right, Lively later distorted this conversation in support of her baseless harassment. Oh, I'm not reading this. It's not highlighted. Corey, you only read the highlighted shit. Lively sent Baldoni a long text describing how directors never permitted her to write scenes for the movies she acted, nor gave her writing credits, even making her hand scribbled her suggestions for lines so they could make it not be traced to her. Lively boasted that she had even written for her husband's movies. Then Lively asked if she can take a pass at writing the rooftop scene "It Ends With Us," in which characters Ryo and Lily first met. Here's what I think happened, okay? I think Blake Lively was like, okay, Justin Baldoni, he's new into this whole game. I think I have a little bit more prominence than him, you know? I think I could sort of steamroll over him and, you know, maybe since he's so new at this, maybe I can get him to allow me to really be part of this whole production process. I think I think that's what happened. I don't know if she did it. I don't think she did it maliciously. I think she just took advantage of the situation that Justin Baldoni was a really nice guy, it seems, and that, you know, he was maybe seen as someone who was like new at all this, you know, and like maybe he was really grateful that she was on there, and she was probably saw it as an opportunity as like, hey, like, you know, since this guy seems really chill, maybe I can do more for this film than I normally do, because if I ever tried acting like this to other people, they probably would shut me down really quickly because they're more experienced, they've been in this industry longer than Justin Baldoni. I mean, although Justin Baldoni had been in like in this industry for a while because he was an actor on the Jane the Virgin, but still, like, his role as being a producer and all that stuff, I think that was all like within the past like 5 years at this time. So I think she thought that she probably thought she could participate more, because Justin Baldoni was just so new at this, maybe like, you know, less experience. Okay, so we're talking about the rooftop scene. She wants to take a pass at writing the rooftop scene. This pivotal scene, which much loved by the fans, was critical for setting the tone for the movie. So Baldoni was reluctant to allow an actor rather than a union screenwriter to rewrite this key scene. But Baldoni felt the need to allow Lively to rewrite the scene and agreed to take a look at what she put together. See, like, I think he was just trying to be nice. Like, oh, okay, sure, go ahead. Instead of being like, no, don't do it. Justin Baldoni, you know, needs to learn how to say no, I guess, sometimes. The draft of the rooftop scene that Lively sent Baldoni dramatically differed from what had been written originally. Or it could also be because, like, they were so friendly with each other. Maybe instead of, like, treating Justin Baldoni as, like, a boss, Justin Baldoni was treated more like a friend, as an equal. Maybe because, yeah, the text message seemed like they were kind of friendly. Baldoni was hesitant about many of the changes, but thanked Lively for her passion, diplomatically told her that the scene would likely end up being somewhere between the original version and Lively's version. Again, I think he was just trying to be nice. Seemingly stung by Baldoni's exceedingly mild resistance, Lively did not respond well and went silent for multiple days. Lively did not respond and went silent for multiple days. Later, she confirmed in the text below that Baldoni's response, of course, didn't feel great for me or another mega celebrity friend and Ryan Reynolds. Like I said, whoever wrote this, I feel like the majority of this was written by like a PR team or something. Or maybe it was Melissa Nathan or Jennifer Abel. Mega celebrity friend. Like, do we really need to write mega celebrity friend? Like, I get it. You know the public's gonna read this. Oh, gosh. To have my passion praised instead or a specific contribution. Lively was referring to an earlier meeting when Lively summoned Baldoni to her New York penthouse, where Baldoni was greeted by Ryan Reynolds, who launched into enthusiastic praise for Lively's version of the scene hours later. As the meeting was ending, a famous and closely friend of Ryan Reynolds and Lively walked in the room and similarly began praising Lively's script. Baldoni understood the subtext. He needed to comply with Lively's direction for the script. Maybe, possibly, or they could just be praising Blake Lively for, you know, finally being a part of something that she wasn't allowed to be a part of before. Like, I don't know, like, maybe, I don't know, possibly. Later, Baldoni felt obliged to text Lively to say that he had liked her pages and hadn't need Reynolds and her mega celebrity friend to pressure him. Lively responded that the two were her dragons. Lively went on to say, they, Reynolds and the mega celebrity friend, also know that I'm not always good at making sure I'm seen and utilized for fear of throwing egos or fear of affecting the ease of the process. They don't give a shit about that. And because of that, everyone listens to them with immense respect and enthusiasm. So I guess I had to stop worrying about people liking me. I don't know. Emoji, emphasis added. Lively could not have been more clearer. Baldoni was not just dealing with Lively, he was also facing Lively's dragons, two of the most influential and wealthy celebrities in the world who were not afraid to make things very difficult of him. I feel like in order to come to this conclusion, to me, it just needs to be more overt. You know, I just feel like these are just like these two people that were just probably supporting whatever it is that Blake Lively was getting into. I don't know. Maybe they were trying to strong arm him, but like I said, I need more proof of that. All right, here's a text from Blake Lively. This is on April 14th. If you send me the FDX, I'll work when I can steal moments. And yes, of course, please send to Christy. We're on the same team with the same goal. I don't know. And the way they text each other, like, I don't know. I feel like when I get a text of like a wall of text like this, I'm like, oh my God, I do not want to read this. Oh, I feel like I don't know. This is just so much. If someone texts me this much, like, oh gosh. All right, Justin Baldoni replies, great. Also was working on the rooftop scene today. I really love what you did. It really does help a lot. See, I don't know, like him saying stuff like this, like, oh, you really help so much. Like maybe she's like, oh, I'm getting good feedback from Justin Baldoni, so I should do more. I should really help him. Like, look at this. He's so receptive of my help. It makes it so much more fun and interesting. And I would have felt that way without Ryan and Taylor. Wink. You really are a talent across the board. Really excited and grateful to do this together. So when they say mega celebrity friend, mega celebrity, I felt like you might as well just write Taylor's name in there because everyone's going to be able to draw the lines. Okay. They're going to be able to take the yarn, wrap it around and bring it to the other point. All right. Obviously they mean Taylor Swift. Like who else could it be? They always talk about how Blake Lively is so close with Taylor Swift. It's like, I don't know, just include Taylor Swift's name in there. But I felt like they really wanted to make sure people knew this mega celebrity friend was Taylor. Okay. That's very appreciated. So this is Blake Lively's text message back. That's very appreciated. It means a lot. I'm deeply inspired by the film. You hated the rooftop scene. It was so awkward. The rooftop scene was so long. I remember when I was watching, I was like, holy shit, why is this so long? All this mega friend, it all sounds slide. It all sounds like she's saying, if you let me do this, it will all be good. And you get the benefit. If not, the dragons will get you. What a joke. Possibly. I don't know. I just felt like they just wanted to... I don't know. I guess we need more. We need more information. We need more information because my impression is just that, you know, Blake Lively was like, oh, see, look, I think I did a good job. And then when Justin Baldoni comes over, it's like, yeah, Blake Lively did such a good job. And then Taylor Swift, oh yeah, Blake Lively did such a good job. Like, yeah, maybe it's like a little wink to Justin Baldoni, like, hey, you know, she did such a good job. Like maybe you should include parts of this in the rooftop scene or all of it. Okay, let's see what she writes back. Blake Lively. That's very appreciated and means a lot. I'm deeply inspired by the film. We're going to make outside the success of this book. We have such an opportunity to not only surprise people who love the book, but reach an even bigger audience by making an undeniably dynamic and also commercial film. The moment that excited me most the other day was when you said, you're not funny. You are going to kill that rooftop scene. You know what? I'm sure. Even though it was said in a playful self-deprecation that we all participated, it made me think of the process as a whole. God, why is she texting so much? Please know that I trust on the day you've got me, and I hope that you trust what I've got you if you want it, that I've got you if you want it. We're in this together. We are two of the most determined people I know. We also have very high bars set for ourselves. To collaborate with that type of partner is a gift that neither of us will squander because we both care too much about the result and also the experience. I have no motives except for you to win as a director, as an actor, as a studio, as a writer. If you win, I win. If we win our movie wins. We are aligned, and I will bring everything I have to this. Like, oh my God. I don't know. Do people really text like this? Oh, Jesus. Okay. So we continue. This is in April. As for, I'm assuming Taylor and Ryan, and Taylor for that matter, I'm the luckiest motherfucker on the planet to have them as my dance mom level stage moms. They're both embarrassingly effusive. We're just assuming it's Taylor. It might not be Taylor Smith or Taylor Swift. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's just all blah, 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 blah. Okay, circle this. Oh, this is where she said, which of course didn't feel great to me or them to have my... Oh, okay. I did think this was a little bit weird here, where she's kind of just like... Yeah, this part I do think was a little bit weird. So she's talking about Redacted and Ryan. And so, oh God, like I get it. Like maybe she feels like she's so close with Justin Baldoni that she could just throw this whole thing at him. But to me, I did get weird vibes from it. That said, they're also my most trusted partners, the people I go to with anything creative I touch, and the person they each go to first. That reciprocal creativity and support has been one of my life's greatest and most fulfilling gifts. When they love and sign off on the pages, I felt good to send them to you. They asked what you thought specifically after. They checked in so many times. I told them that you laugh a bunch and said it's probably a blend, but you appreciate my passion so much, which of course didn't feel great to me or them. To have my passion be praised instead of any specific contribution, or even just that you didn't like the pages, which was fine also. I don't know. This is like, I'm getting guilt tripping vibes. I don't like this. I don't like the feeling of this. If we're getting guilt tripping vibes in these text messages, it's possible that the guilt tripping vibes was also there when he was in person with these other people. So I'm definitely getting guilt tripping vibes. Like, I get it. Like, maybe she's just the type of person who just like likes to just be really honest about her feelings and stuff like that. But I don't know. This is like way too guilt trippy for me. Difficult proved to be a gross understatement, though Baldoni initially invited Lively to make changes to the script. Lively began altering the script daily. The frequency of Lively's revisions alarmed the producers, director, studio, who anticipated that her interference would persist every day of the shoot and disrupt the carefully planned production schedule. Each shooting day was intricately scheduled long in advance, and Lively's constant changes placed significant stress on the production crew, not to mention financial strain on Wayfair. May 1st, 2023. Producer, are you listening to this? She's fixing the script. I think Ange's advice was actually wrong. Blake is now directing the movie. This is bad. Ange is, I believe, the Sony rep. Jamie Heath, I'm listening. Talking through it is better than not. Seeing what's possible, as long as any decision is done with approval. Producer, not for something that was already intimately planned. This will be every day of the shoot. Jamie responds, I know. I'm not sure what can be done, honestly, at this point in terms of Blake. More than a year later, during a red carpet interview at the New York premiere, Lively stated the iconic rooftop scene, my husband actually wrote it. Nobody knows that, but you now. I don't know, like, did she just say this just to be cutesy, likable to a reporter or something? I don't know, because if I was these people, I'd be confused too. It's like, wait, I thought you wrote the scene. What happened here? Or did she initially write the scene, and then when there was the strikes that were happening, Ryan took it and rewrote the whole thing? I don't know. The startling revelation directly contradicted Lively's previous insistence that she had written the scene, and sternly cast Reynolds high praise for a rewritten scene in a different light. The film's credited screenwriter, when asked about the claim that Reynolds had written the scene, graciously responded, so if I'm being told that Ryan wrote that, then great, how wonderful. There were a few little flourishes that I did not write, and if those flourishes came from Ryan, I think that's wonderful. So it seems like no one knew that Ryan Reynolds wrote this. Like, was Blake Lively lying? Was she just trying to, I don't know, was this like a PR thing or what? But it seems like Sony didn't know about this, Wayfair didn't know about this, Justin Baldoni didn't know about this, nobody knew about this. There's an email that went from Sony Legal Affairs, and it says, hi, we certainly need some clarity on public comments made about Ryan Reynolds potentially contributing writing services in the rooftop scene. Can you provide additional information on this, as there's no contracts, his services are not the chain, nor is his name anywhere in the credits? One of the many media reports which cite this claim made by Blake Lively, people.com. Thanks for clarifying. If services were rendered, obviously we require signed documentation immediately. Wayfair writes back to Sony Legal Affairs. Hello, your email was shared with me by Redacted in order to address this issue. We are not aware of any writing services rendered by Ryan Reynolds, regardless of what's being said publicly. This is not something we're aware of. We are learning about these allegations in real time. Please let me know if you have any questions. Dun dun. Still, during the pre-production phase, Lively and Reynolds raised entirely false allegations of fat shaming. So the fat shaming thing came about when Blake Lively alleged that Justin Baldoni was going around and asking her fitness trainer how much did she weigh, because I guess she alleged that he was afraid that she was like too fat to be in the movie. She had just given birth, it had been months, and she was still a little too chubby or something like that. That was my takeaway from that. And so she was essentially trying to say that, like, oh, Justin Baldoni is like fat shaming me, why is he trying to find out about my weight? However, Justin Baldoni says something differently. Baldoni has been introduced to the trainer Dawn, who became Baldoni's personal trainer by Lively. So it's not just Justin Baldoni reaching out to Blake Lively's trainer. This is the trainer that trains him as well. And Blake Lively. So the way they made it seem like, oh, he went out of his way to contact Blake Lively's personal trainer to find out how much she weighed. Don directed Baldoni's prep for the film role, including his nutrition and exercise, making special accommodations for Baldoni's back injury. Baldoni even paid to receive Don's meal delivery service. Message with Don. Okay, speak later today. I can get you in a program this week. Justin replies, sure, just got to NYC for the day. Hey, bud, tried ya. Response, call you in a few. Justin responds, cool, standing by. And so here are the workouts that they're going to do. And then Justin's like, great, can't wait. Amazing. Privately, Baldoni reached out to Don as his personal trainer to ask what Lively weighed so that he could train his back muscles in preparation for a lift scene. I don't think there's any issues with this. But I don't know. Maybe we need to hear from Don, the personal trainer. Maybe we have to see the text messages. Maybe Justin Baldoni is misrepresenting it. Maybe not. But honestly, if Justin Baldoni was reaching out and asking his personal trainer, like, oh, how much do you think she weighs? Like, I just need to figure out, just that way we can really, prepare ourselves and we can really work out or something. Or he can just choose not to do the scene where he picks her up, right? Blake Lively was trying to say that, like, well, there's no him trying to ask how much she weighed. There was no him picking her up at all. It was not part of the script. So he's lying about that. Let's see what Justin Baldoni says about that. This was important to avoid injury, not only to Baldoni, who suffered from lifelong back injuries, multiple bulging discs, and chronic pain, but also to Lively. Notwithstanding Lively's recent attempts to deny the existence of any such scene, it was only nixed at her insistence after having a plan to rehearse. So again, this is where we're not just getting misunderstood facts, okay? We're getting just straight up lies. Someone's lying out there. Who's lying? Because Blake Lively was like, well, that's not even in the script, so I don't even know why he would even have to pick me up. He wouldn't have to pick me up. It's not part of it. But Justin Baldoni's like, well, it was part of it, but you're the one who nixed it. What's going on here? I don't know. We got to know a sequence of events. Okay, when was the scene nixed? When did Justin Baldoni ask about Blake Lively's weight? But honestly, at the end of the day, I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think so. The next morning, Baldoni was summoned to the penthouse by Lively and greeted by Reynolds, who swore at Baldoni and accused him of fat-shaming his wife. How dare you fucking ask about my wife's weight? What's wrong with you? I don't know. I try to... Usually when I'm making assumptions, I always assume that people are level-headed, people aren't just going to blow off a fuse. I mean, there are people that are like that, right? But it's what happened? Did the trainer misrepresented what Baldoni asked? Did the trainer embellish? Did the trainer exaggerate? Or was Baldoni being insensitive when he was asking about Blake Lively's weight? Maybe he was making some other comments, and maybe that's why the trainer, why would the trainer go back and tell Blake Lively about this? The confrontation from Reynolds and Lively was so aggressive that Baldoni felt he had no choice but to offer repeated and completely unwarranted apologies for what was a good faith and reasonable question to ask of his trainer. Reynolds demanded Baldoni to remove the scene entirely. See, we're getting different facts here. Was it a scene or was it not a scene? Lively refused to perform the lift scene in the end, even after it was rehearsed with a stunt double. In her own complaint, Lively flat out lies about the absence of the scene by claiming the scene wasn't in the film. The only reason the scene wasn't in the film was because Lively and Reynolds ensured it was taken out of the film. Accommodating Lively, Baldoni rewrote the scene with Lively despite the fact that for creative reasons, the scene was important to him as a storyteller and director. And also, Blake Lively's she's 5'9", 5'10". She's a tall girl. She's not a small petite girl. I don't think it's a big deal that he was asking to figure out, oh, how much does she weigh if I'm going to pick her up? But if that scene is not a real thing and he was only asking that and inquiring about that because he wanted her to lose weight because he thought she looked too fat for the role, I don't know. That's a whole different discussion, right? All right. Let's take a quick little break. Hey, is Nicole here? Hello, Nicole. How are you doing today? Hello, hello. I know someone who texts like that. She loves bombs and then manipulates. I've never seen, I don't think I've watched interviews with Ryan Reynolds before. Have I? Maybe some Deadpool stuff? No, it's mostly oh no, it's mostly was Hugh Jackman, I think. I don't know. I haven't seen anything about him saying that he was a girl dad or anything. Hi, Esb. She was being serious. The writer asked about how he felt having Ryan collaborating the script, and he said, I didn't know what happened. I'm finding out with you right now. LOL. Ryan Gosling continues to be the superior Canadian Ryan. I used to get Ryan Gosling and Ryan Reynolds mixed up. But yeah, Ryan Gosling has been in some really cool roles lately. Who exactly wrote that scene, and why is she claiming that she wrote it if it was her husband? I don't know. Maybe she initially did write it, and then later on Reynolds ended up rewriting the whole thing. I don't know. I have no idea. The way she reacted on that congratulations a little bump interview, it's not hard to imagine she has body issues and is sensitive about anything regarding her weight and appearance. Ooh, good point. Why is it horrible? It's just an observation. Even when he's talking about superhero movies and characters, he mentioned his daughters, not his son. It's odd. I don't know how many. I know they have 4 kids, but I don't know how many sons and how many daughters they have. The writer said he thought the changes in the rooftop scene was improv and had no idea. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds rewrote in secret. If I'm not mistaken, she did claim it was her and Ryan that did it. Oh, okay. I haven't seen the actual article. In fact, Lively had early expressed insecurity about her postpartum figure, and Baldoni made every attempt to generally reassure her. Yes, there are these text messages. This is from February 2023. Blake Lively writes, kicking ass, but it's still a ton of work with not a ton of time. What's the chance we can do body scenes at the end of the schedule? He replies back, I'm sure you are. Honestly, there's 1 billion moving parts to schedule right now. I just need to turn in the rewrite. And so they are hard at work. So much of it comes down to locations and the other cast availability, etc. So to be honest, I have really no clue. He writes also, I want you to know you will look amazing. Anything you are insecure about, we will talk through and get creative together and make you comfortable. I just don't want you to stress about your body. It's the last thing you need. As soon as I have a rough schedule that's even remotely accurate, I'll share. And I'll make sure the team keeps this in mind as well. Oh boy. All right. We got some voice memos. We got some dodo walls here. February 18, 2023. Blake Lively. Thank you for the voice memo. It is deeply appreciated. You are everything you promised to be as a collaborator. Thank you. I know my job here, and this piece is a big part of my role. We both understand the assignment. We actors in the roles, but also as producers, we also as marketers, we understand artistically, yes, but we get what we need to do in all aspects of the movie commercially. As woke as we both are and work to be, this movie requires certain aesthetic. It's part of my job that we both excitedly signed up for. I don't shy away from that because it's not problematic. It's the assignment. Like when someone is about to start an athletic event, it's their job to be in top shape. My husband and I both look at certain roles at athletic events, and this is one of them. It's not always a part of the job, but on this one it is, and that's great. Also, as much as I love to not think about it, and this would be irresponsible and also impossible because unrealistic, and it's not to acknowledge what I really need to do. This is my job here, and I meet my responsibilities with extreme work ethic. I look for solutions to achieve my high goal. Oh God, this is so fucking long. I'll just keep reading it. Instead of lowering my goals, we all win when we're each firing at our highest capabilities, with you and I both are, and we will continue to. I just need as much time as possible because I just had my 4th baby. I understand you'll never personally know all the nuances of the challenges unless you live this physical moment in this time. I'm with you, this physical road ahead. So having your understanding and support to help me pull off this is critical and very, very appreciated. Not just in my experiences now, but also healing from experiences past. So thank you. We're going to kill it and be so fit. They have to Lola Iston to look less banging. So she's just really appreciative of Justin's support. And then she just types a lot. Lively then delivered an ultimatum. If Baldoni could not get on board with her work methods, he had 2 weeks to recast her. I want to know more about this ultimatum. Implicit in this ultimatum was a threat to destroy Baldoni's reputation and career, reputation based on his passionate advocacy for women's rights. If Lively were to back out of the film, especially based on accusations of fat shaming, Baldoni's reputation and life's work would be in tatters. He had no choice but to bow to Lively and Reynolds' demands. Concerns about Lively's undue influence over the film began to grow even before the film started. This was the first time Lively moved to seize control of the film from Baldoni, but that was not the last. Basically, a producer complaining in text messages. He cannot let her have opinions on everything. Jamie, Blake, producer, or she's going to be co-directing this film. Yes, Jamie. Yeah, we were talking a lot about that yesterday. Producer, exactly. This is why everyone is starting to lose it. We've been talking about the same thing for months. Jamie, yep, it's starting to get resolved. Producer, no, it's not. I just wonder if, I don't know, from the text messages that we're getting from Justin Baldoni, it seems like he was giving Blake Lively positive feedback for her interference. And he seems like he just kept saying yes to her. And while everyone around him was just getting frustrated and was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why? Why is she co-directing? Why is she making all these decisions? 55, this was the last time Lively openly moved to seize control of the film from Baldoni, but it would not be the last. D. Filming begins as Lively builds her takeover strategy. Filming began in early May 2023. Lively continued to maintain what happened, what later appeared to be a facade of a close, caring relationship with Baldoni, even as she continued to make escalating demands for creative control. By the time production began, Lively and Baldoni had worked closely together for months. Lively expressed warm gratitude for her collaboration with Baldoni on the eve of filming. So this is from May 15, 2023. This note means so much to me. I'm excited to start tomorrow, but it's only one piece of the journey. We started months ago, and I'm grateful for all that we've built so far. Thank you so much for your caring. Thank you so much for caring so much and for putting every bit of you into showing it. You've given so much of your time to fight for great, and that hasn't gone unappreciative or unseen for a moment. Let's do this shit. From Blake Lively to Justin Baldoni. It seems like a lot of the shit really hit the fan once filming started. When did the fat shaming thing happen? I'm not quite sure. Do we know when the fat shaming thing happened? I don't think we do. I'm trying to get like a timeline together in my head. All right, so her taking over. Throughout the first filming period, Lively continued to share her open and unguarded thoughts on life and her character. She talked about wardrobe choices to make her characters much sexier. We've already read this text message. So basically they're trying to say that, like, you know, Blake Lively used the word sexy, sexier, and Justin Baldoni was just trying to match that. So when he would say, you know, that something looks sexy on Blake Lively, he was just matching her language. However, Blake Lively was like, oh, this isn't appropriate. She felt like she was being all gold and sexually harassed by Justin Baldoni. Lively continued to express her warm appreciation and respect for Baldoni as filming continued, even as she acknowledged she could be difficult and critical of others, using the kind of language she herself would have been alleged as inappropriate. Justin Baldoni writes, this is May 2023, I'm not going to tell you that you were amazing because you tease me for being so sentimental, but you were amazing today. Like Lively, thank you, I do appreciate it. I'm just a ball buster, but it means a lot to me. I care a great deal. I always want to deliver. You were terrific. I'm proud of everything we did today, but really every day. Like, oh my God, like this back and forth, like, oh, you're so amazing. No, you're amazing. Oh, you're amazing. Like, I don't know. I guess it's for morale and morale boost, but like, it just sounds like bullshit to me. Lively's use of the word ball buster would certainly made it on her 17-point list had it been Baldoni who said it. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like we don't need to reach so much here. I feel like. Lively's intimate comfort with Baldoni continued as filming progressed. In June of 2023, after the alleged harassment and uncomfortable situations allegedly occurred, she even invited Baldoni to her trailer to rehearse while pumping breast milk. Now, they're talking about the allegation that Blake Lively made, saying that, oh, you know, she would be undressed and people would just come into her trailer unannounced. Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, and other people. Lively was so close and comfortable with Baldoni that she freely breastfed in front of him during meetings. She took photos of him holding and soothing her crying baby in her penthouse. They laughed deliriously during late night writing sessions. All of these events took place after the alleged sexual harassment. Lively's accusations seemed to come out of the blue. She even knew his tea order. Why include this? Who's writing this? This is a script right here. Who cares if she knew his tea order? Who cares? Okay. Justin Baldoni, en route to you. Can I get you anything? No, all good. Thank you, though. I'm getting you a hot matcha. And do you know what Brandon likes? Like, I don't know. But here's the thing. I think in the beginning of this lawsuit, it's a lot of like these little things where I'm like, why are they including it? They don't need to include it. You know, we could just have a good, solid lawsuit without including all this shit here. It does get there, though. At some point, like, most of it gets less annoying. Lively herself set the tone for personal discussions on set, including what language was acceptable. For example, on one occasion while filming a restaurant scene, Lively sat on the floor in painfully expensive shoes while discussing with a group of male cast and crew how sexy her shoes were. Lively had no issue using the word sexy herself, but apparently took note both times Baldoni said the word in her presence. Yeah, I mean, Jesus, I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things where you just have to be there. Need the context for it. Because it's possible that Blake Lively could have used the word sexy and then Justin Baldoni and other people just trying to mirror that. But it's also possible that Blake Lively used the word sexy and then when Baldoni and the other people were mirroring it, they could have said it in a creepy way. But I don't know. I don't know. We would need to hear from other people, I guess, what their interpretation of it was. 62 though she was loose and relaxed in her speech on set, she was increasingly stringent in demands she imposed on the production. She rewrote her own dialogue constantly, took it upon herself to make unilateral changes to other characters' lines, effectively rewriting the script day by day. Gosh, how do you memorize your script when it's being changed like this? It sounds so annoying. This pattern of domineering interference caused unending interruptions to the production process, leading to entirely unnecessary stress, chaos, and delays. It is well documented on film footage how frequently she requested changes and how at every turn, Baldoni took her thoughts and out of fear of repercussion from Lively and her allies, he consistently tried to accommodate. Labor strike. So May 2nd, 2023, WGA went on strike. Filming halted temporarily on June 14. However, the next day, the production was notified the WGA had agreed to not picket their set, so the production was allowed to continue. But Lively was already gone and refused to work to the production immediately. Why did I highlight this? Lively was already gone and refused to return to production immediately. I don't know why I highlight this. Wayfarer reworked the shooting schedule at great expense to film the scenes with the younger versions of the characters instead of the footage requiring Lively. Oh, maybe I was like, maybe she decided to not come back to the set because still the WGA was still on strike. And maybe she wanted to stand in support of them by not returning to set. I don't fucking know. I don't know why I highlighted this. Wayfarer reworked the shooting scene at great expense. On June 27, 2023, the production shut down entirely. SAG-AFTRA also went on strike on July 14, 2023. To make most of the strike, Baldoni began editing the footage that has been captured to date, starting with the director's process of turning footage into film. Lively expressed excitement over returning to shoot in the fall in New York, making no mention of any discomfort or harassment that would be brought up later, after months of being apart on the days the strikes ended. 68. Both before and during the strikes, Lively's eager involvement in the production took on a more insistent and manipulative tone, as she asked for access to the dailies and early cuts of the scenes, both inappropriate and unorthodox requests. So we're in June 13. Hey, would you mind giving me dailies? I'm curious which takes you liked of the scenes you showed redacted. My manager redacted flew out to visit set and leaves tomorrow a.m. He heard all about from Warren and I'd love to show him. I appreciate you may too be slammed right now to make this happen and maybe someone else can facilitate. Thanks so much. I don't know. I mean, this text message seems a little more distancy than all the other text messages that we saw. Dailies refer to raw footage of what was filmed that day, including how many takes. This is not shared with the cast. Blake Lively writes, hey, I hope you... Oh, no, I think it's Justin Bell. Oh, no, it is... Oh, it's Blake Lively. Hey, I hope you and your family are well. I watched the selects you sent. So great. I was so happy and energized. Such solid work from everyone on and off camera. It was really cool to see. Oh, but this is in July 19. So July 19, that's when all the sexual harassment and all the weird stuff would have already taken place, but they're trying to say that like, oh, Blake Lively seems kind of normal in these text messages. Maybe. I mean, she definitely sounds way less wordy. You know, it's less mushy and stuff like that. I don't know. Or maybe she was just trying to appeal to Justin Baldoni to get what she needed, but I don't know. I watched the selects you sent. So great. I was so happy and energized. Such solid work from everyone on and off camera. It was really cool to see. We were working so quickly. There was never time to look back. So it was nice to read it from an audience's perspective. Please let me know who to reach out to get access to full gallery of dailies. I'm so looking forward to seeing all that we have in the can. And of course, any scenes you cut together, I love to see. Hope you're having a great summer and hopefully a good edit. Will your assembly be done soon? X. Huh. I mean, this text must just sound like, it doesn't sound super cold to me. It sounds way less, I guess, emotional than her other text messages, but that's because the context is so different, right? The other text messages were like, oh my God, you know, we're going to do this together. So grateful with each other. I'm so proud of you, blah, blah, blah. This text is just like her trying to get something, you know, get access to dailies. Gosh, I don't know. I would have expected to be more cold in language, maybe. Wayfarer, Baldoni, and other producers in the film strategized about how to respond to Lively, which became common practice so as not to trigger backlash from Lively. The text exchange below demonstrates adamant objections giving Lively the dailies. Not only was it inappropriate overreach, but it was a real concern that was the simple ask. Yeah, why did he just say no? Oh man, I think he was just like trying to play nice guy here. Such as rewriting a couple scenes would turn to a complete takeover, like rewriting the script. They really feared that giving her the dailies could turn to her demanding to edit the whole movie, which is exactly ultimately what happened. All right, so Justin Baldoni sends a screenshot of Blake Lively asking, producer says, I'd say no, but check her contract first. Lol. Jamie Heath writes, I was waiting for Redacted to respond first. This face. It's an absolute no for me as well, respectfully. Not sure best way to respond being how delicate it is. Producer, I think you can either not respond until tomorrow. So I wonder if it's like, is it delicate because they're afraid of hurting Blake Lively's feelings? Because at this point, I don't think they knew about the whole allegations against Justin Baldoni. Like, he's saying that he doesn't know anything about the sexual harassment allegations. It wasn't brought up until when production resumed. Blake seems like a nightmare to work with. She seems annoying to work with. But I think maybe she was getting so much positive feedback from, Justin Baldoni that she was like, oh, okay, he's letting me do stuff. I'm going to really, overreach here and go beyond my contracts. But yeah, it seems annoying. Because what's annoying right here too is it's like, oh gosh, okay. I appreciate you may be too slammed right now to make it happen, but maybe someone else can facilitate. It's like, oh gosh. It's like, in case he says, sorry, I'm really busy right now, I can't. It's like, okay, well, can you get someone else to do it? All right, so producer, I think you can either not respond until tomorrow or say you need to talk to the team or just say no, you're not comfortable with it. Jamie Heath writes, maybe we can let this be a Sony decision and you can respond with that for now. So it seems like maybe they are a little bit hesitant about making this actress unhappy. They just want to make sure that she's happy. That way nothing else happens. I don't know. Maybe they're too scared to say no to her. Thank you. Spoke to Redacted too. I think I'm just going to say yes and send her a playlist of a bunch of good takes from different scenes that last for 3 or 4 days. Redacted said, no, LOL. Producer, we all said no, and you're going to send? He writes back, no, she liked the idea of a playlist. No to access to all the dailies. I wasn't clear in the text. Okay, copy. The producer's like, what the fuck? Just say no. All right, let's see what his. Okay, copy makes sense. Just about Baldoni. Basically send her a playlist of what I showed her agent. And then if or when she responds and says, can you send me everything? That's when I'll say I'm not comfortable with that as I haven't seen everything. Again, he just doesn't want to say no. He just feels bad. I think he just has a hard time saying no to her. Redacted believes that she will then start to edit the movie and tell me which takes to use if she has access to everything. Producer, yes, I agree with that. Just about Baldoni. Also, this is exactly how the writing process started. She asked if it was okay if she could take a pass at some of the dialogue tweak in the rooftop scene. Oh gosh. So it's like I gave her a little bit and then she started pushing and asking for more. But here's the thing. Justin Baldoni was giving her good feedback, was like, oh, this is so helpful. All right. So Justin Baldoni just talked to Blake. She's in very good spirits and seems very happy about this very nice conversation. Producer, good. Jamie Heath, great. Great to hear. Screenshot. 70. After consulting internally as to how to respond, and Baldoni politely pushed back, explaining that it was much too early in the editing process to share much footage. So Justin Baldoni to Blake Lively, and this is July 20th. Hi, sorry for the slow response. Yes, family is good. Brutal being away for so long and happy we are finally together. Lots happening. All good things overall. Had to hire new editors who I adore. They are going through everything now. I'm so happy you felt energized by what you saw. Your performance is really, really beautiful. Stunning, actually. Read dailies. Obviously, I want your input. That's why I sent the 5-hour playlist, but at the point, it's too early for me to share the dailies. I start my cut in early August, given the new editors, and still going through the rest myself. Also figuring out our shooting plan as I have to cut and combine and find ways to scale down for budget. Once I am fully, physically, in the edit and haven't touched scenes myself, I'd love to share with you. I hope you enjoy this time off with your family. Talk soon. I don't know, things just seem like they're kind of okay, but it's possible that the sexual harassment stuff could have still happened, but, she was still okay with texting him almost normally. Is it normal for actors to take this much with their directors about everything? I asked out of curiosity because I have no idea. Don't have assistants. I don't know. I feel like there are some people who might want to be more hands-on. And I think she was really trying to take on the hands-on approach. Because I feel like, as an actor, you don't want to just be known as an actor, right? You always want to do more and more and more. So maybe she saw this as her opportunity to be like, oh my God, I can actually rewrite parts of, the movie. I can contribute by choosing the music, the wardrobe. David, it seems like what's happening is that he was trying to handle someone he knew who was going to make his life hell. Tabitha, why aren't more people talking about the fact that Ryan Reynolds did the same thing to the director of Deadpool, and that's how he took over the Deadpool franchise? I heard a little bit about that. I'm pretty sure, Tabitha, there will be more coverage about that, because I didn't know about that, but I did hear that, I think it was in this lawsuit, actually, that talked about how Ryan Reynolds drove someone out of the whole Deadpool thing. This movie was Justin's big moment to keep his production employees. He needed to make the movie work. I can see why nobody in an indie production would want to please Ryan Reynolds, Disney. Unless she's a producer, she's way out of line. She was given the executive producer, but they said in the contract she had no other obligations other than just acting. But I think like she knew that she could get away with small stuff like this, and Justin Baldoni was allowing her to get away with it, and then she kept pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. At that point, Lively reluctantly paid nominal lip service to the notion that Baldoni, the film's director, was entitled to the time and space needed for his director cut, but continued to push. July 20th. I don't want to infringe on your time with your cut, of course. Don't feel the need to send me cutscenes. I was just excited to see. 3 dailies. None of the producers have access to dailies. It's just you. Like, oh, gosh, our text message is like so annoying. It's like she's inquiring, but she's also inquiring because she wants to get something out of it. It's just, that's my reaction of it. It's like, oh, well, so like no one else has cuts to the dailies, just you. Oh, they have cuts to it too. Well, can I just get the cuts if they have the cuts? Like, can I just say like, I see what she's trying to do here. All right, Baldoni shared limited scenes with Lively, feeling uncomfortable all the while, yet he already knew that he had to bow to Lively's demands in order to get out the film and its in order to get out the film and its powerful message. Finally, he put his foot down, sending Lively one final scene and then telling her he would not be sending her any more cuts until he was finished with his editorial process. Boom. All right, same day, July 20th. Sorry, back-to-back meetings. All good, love the excitement. I'm excited to show you when the time is right. No, not just me. Redacted and Jamie have access to dailies, but not assemblies or cuts. A month later, August 25th, 2023. Oh man, a year later. Where would it be a year later? Wait, Blake Lively's birthday is in August? Oh god, that's when shit hit the fan for her. All right, Justin Baldoni writes, happy birthday, Blake. Coincidentally, today's the last day of my edit as we are closing the room until we shoot again. It's been wildly successful and I'm so happy. You are so fantastic in the film. I'm sending you over one of my favorite sections. I won't be posting or sending anyone after this, but I'm excited to show you more in person when we come back. Please watch before Sunday as all Pix accounts get shut down on Monday until we are back up. Can't wait to hear what you think. Have an amazing day. XX. I mean, this is in August now. November is when they get hit with this whole thing. They're like, oh, there's these allegations that are potentially against you. Oh, no, it wasn't November. It was like, I think in January. November was when things were a little bit weird. And then January is when things got super fucking weird, where Justin was like, oh shit, like she's like accusing me of some weird stuff here. All right, so 2 months later, or no, the next month in September 27, 2023, the strikes have ended. Strike ended in November. Oh, SAG-AFTRA ended in November. WGA ended in September. Months before, Baldoni had made Lively's representative aware that they will continue pre-production in order to hit the ground running when the strikes ended. But Lively and her lawyers had been busy devising other plans during the strike. The same day the SAG-AFTRA strike ended, Baldoni, the studios, and the producers were eager to resume production. Instead, they were met with an email from Lively's lawyer, who sent Wayfair an unsettling and unexpected 17-point list of non-negotiable conditions that must be met before Lively would return to work. The stunning list was drafted for the apparent purpose of insinuating or outright claiming that Baldoni, Heath, and others had engaged in sexually inappropriate conduct during filming. Nothing could be further from the truth. So again, this is the email from Blake Lively's team. It's like, hey, this is what we have here. We want you to sign it, agree to it, and then she'll come back and she'll do the filming. Both Wayfair and Sony attempted to revise the document to make it factually accurate, being that the representation of set culture was inaccurate, and sent comments through Wayfair's attorney, who incorporated Sony's notes. But Lively's counsel response made it clear the list was not for open negotiation. So this is what they sent to the Wayfair team. The list we provided was not intended as a starting point for negotiation. Rather, it is a set of protections that need to be placed in order for our client to return to work. Please let us know as soon as possible whether Wayfair will agree to accept all the protections included in our original communication, including without limitation number 11 and 12. Blah, 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 blah. Lively's counsel. It is clear that Wayfair would have to sign the document as is, despite the falsity of its insinuations. The alternate was to lose millions of dollars, cost hundreds of people their jobs after they had been out of work for months, and destroy the relationship with Sony. Nevertheless, the demands themselves were agreeable. Indeed, some were already in place. To illustrate the distorted and downright fictional basis for the 17-point list of demands, each of them is addressed in turn below. All right, we're going to go through all of them, because we had a lot of questions, like intimacy coordinator, what's up with that? Nudity writer, blah, blah, blah. The scenes, the not the choreographs, but the, what is it called again when you do something last moment? Improvisions. We had a lot of questions about all this. But before that, let me catch up with the chat. You're absolutely right when you said Blake probably saw Justin as a new director. She could push around and have her way. She could never try this with Tarantino or Scorsese. Yeah, and I think it's because Justin just didn't have that extensive experience yet. And he seemed like a really nice guy. And he seemed like someone who was open to having her help out with some stuff. And maybe he just couldn't say no. Or maybe he was trying to give her some signs of like, oh, you know, like, no. But then she just like ignored it. Maybe he tried to say it like, you know, implicitly. But, you know, with someone like Blake Lively, maybe he just had to be super direct, and him being direct was just really hard for him to do, possibly. I don't think Blake Lively is at the AH level. I don't think so. I know a lot of people are making the same comparisons, stuff like that. I'm just not there yet. We need more. I'm saying let the trial happen. Let the trial happen. Oh, okay. Point 1, intimacy coordinator. Lively demanded that an intimacy coordinator be present at all times when Lively was on set. In fact, an intimacy coordinator had already been engaged during the first half of the production, so Wayfair took no issue with the request itself, despite both Lively and her attorney knowingly insinuating that there was none. On or about March 20th, 2023, nearly 2 months before filming began, Baldoni met with the intimacy coordinator, and in early April 2023, more than 6 weeks before production commenced, she was engaged. Lively was aware, as Baldoni had informed her in writing on or about April 6, 2023. Lively's attorney was also aware, as documented May 8, 2023, emails between her and Wayfair's attorney, within which Wayfair provides her intimacy coordinator approved nudity writer, followed by written confirmation of said approval. So email from Wayfair's counsel to Lively's counsel. Hello, redacted. I hope you had a good weekend. Attaching here is Blake's nudity writer for your review that has been approved by SAG Intimacy Coordinator. Apologies for the rush job, but note we need the sign by tomorrow, reserving customary rates. I look forward to hearing from you shortly. Kindly regards. Lively's counsel writes back, hi, do you have written approval from the intimacy coordinator for the exhibit that you can share? They write back, hi, confirmation for redacted attached here. Let me know if you need anything else at the moment. Thanks. Although the presence of an intimacy coordinator is not a SAG rule, but rather a recommendation, Baldoni was eager to engage one from the start to ensure talent, himself included, felt safe during intimate scenes. It's also important to him that intimacy coordinator be a woman to help craft sex scenes that would speak to mostly the female audience of the book, i.e. written from the female gaze, as a fact Lively later mocked in both her complaint and CRD complaint. Given both Lively and Reynolds' firsthand knowledge of these facts, Lively insisted in her November 9, 2023 return to production demands on the constant presence of an intimacy coordinator was baffling. However, because Wayfair had already engaged an intimacy coordinator and had no issues with that request, given the request came with the threat that Lively will not come back to work after months of filming and planning. Honestly, how I took this as was that there was already an intimacy coordinator, but Blake Lively was trying to say and allege that, well, the intimacy coordinator was not present for all the sex scenes and they need to be there. Otherwise, maybe it just felt really unprofessional with what was happening between her and Justin Baldoni. So I think she could still argue that. She could still argue like, yes, we did have an intimacy coordinator. And yes, I didn't want to meet with the intimacy coordinator 6 weeks before filming starts. However, once filming started, the intimacy coordinator was not always present. I don't know. Point 2, limiting review of intimate scene footage to those with essential business reasons. Given that this was already standard practice in the film industry and in practice on the film set, Wayfair readily agreed to this demand. Despite having filmed for over a month and despite having provided a nudity writer and the opportunity to negotiate, finalize, and sign, Lively never asked for a closed set. However, production always adhered to this and had no problem agreeing to this demand. For clarity, no intimacy scene was even shot prior to November 9, 2023. Return to production demands, therefore, under no circumstance did Lively shoot intimate scenes without a nudity writer, as suggested in her complaint, and production did not violate any SAG-AFTRA rules. The one simulated nude scene filmed prior to the strike break and the November 9, 2023 return to production demands was a scene that Lively wrote, knew in advance, and directed the action for, and she never requested a nudity writer or an intimacy coordinator for that scene. This demand as written suggests nude or intimate scenes were filmed with a non-essential personnel present. Yes, that's what we were thinking. We were like, oh, so they were just doing like these sex scenes, and there was no intimacy coordinator there. Okay, maybe that is a little weird. Maybe that seems unprofessional. I don't know. But they're trying to say that like, well, there was no scene that was filmed before this November 9 return to production demand. And there was one scene that had nude, but that was directed, I guess, by Blake Lively herself, and she never requested an intimacy coordinator or a nudity writer. Huh, interesting. This demand as written suggests nude or intimate scenes were filmed with a non-essential personnel present. Oh yeah, that too, because I think they're also trying to say that when she was, there's a scene where she was like naked, she was giving birth, but she was given this like little like cloth thing to cover her private part. That there was like people walking around in the background and like devices weren't confiscated and stuff like that. And then like Jamie Heath, the Wayfair CEO, was like around and walking around and like the set wasn't closed. So later in the complaint, Lively alleges that during a scene, the birthing scene, where she was mostly nude with her legs spread wide in stirrups and only a small piece of fabric covering her genitalia, that there was non-essential persons present. This allegation is knowingly false. To begin with, to describe Lively as mostly nude and naked from below the chest down is dishonest. She was wearing black briefs and a pregnancy suit that covered her midsection. Her top was covered by a hospital gown. Her legal complaint deliberately suggests that she was wearing a small piece of nude fabric glued to her genitalia by stating that this is generally what female actors use to provide some minimal privacies without disturbing the chant, leaving the reader to believe that Lively was only wearing the small piece of fabric. Lively was aware of this birthing scene, and she was heavily involved in rewriting the script and gave creative input for this specific scene, even as a director's creative vision. So she was wearing black briefs. Does that mean she was just wearing like black underwear? Right? Like black shorts underwear or something like that? Moreover, film footage. Oh, that's right. Film footage. So now it's like, are we going to have concrete evidence and proof? Are we going to have film footage to show that someone is lying? Is that still around? Film footage demonstrates the set was not chaotic, and only essentials individuals, like the film crew and the talent, were present. Lively falsely alleges that film financier was present during these scenes and insinuated that he was watching her nude, which he had no desire to do. He was not even on the set during the filming that scene. He arrived later, merely stopping by for a brief moment amid his busy schedule, and was present during the filming of a scene in which Lively's character spoke with a female OBGYN doctor. A scene in which she was fully clothed. Point 3. No spontaneous improvisation of scenes involving physical, touching, simulated sex, or nudity, which must be choreographed with intimacy coordinator. So Blake Lively alleged that Justin Baldoni did a lot of improvision, like he like bit her lip, he like sucked on it, and she thought it was like really inappropriate. So Lively refused to meet with the intimacy coordinator to plan out these scenes. The meetings often took place at Lively's insistence in a couple's home and while Lively's husband was present. Lively's method of work was unconventional and uncomfortable for Baldoni. To suggest Baldoni was the one who created the scene is knowingly false. I don't know, like if you're filming a scene like this, or if you're discussing it, you're talking about it, if you're practicing it, I don't know, like since everyone's like in the professional industry, like is it really awkward to have the husband there? Like, is it still awkward? Like, I don't know. It's like we're being professionals here, aren't we? Maybe it still is. All right, so screenshot of Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. So this is when Justin Baldoni was like, hey, we have an intimacy coordinator. I want you to go meet with her. And she's like, oh, it's okay. I can meet her when we start. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with, like, just because she decided to not meet with the intimacy coordinator then, what's wrong with meeting with the intimacy coordinator when filming starts, right? I think it's better to probably do it ahead of time. That way, you know, you're all prepared for the set and stuff like that. But the way they're representing it, they're trying to show that like, oh, she was unwilling to meet with the intimacy coordinator 6 weeks before production started. To me, it doesn't show that she was still refusing to meet with the intimacy coordinator once production started. As a result, many sex scenes were not written with simultaneous collaboration and input from Lively and the intimacy coordinator. In the end, Lively rejected all of the intimacy coordinator's proposal to rewrite the scenes herself. Lively later used these circumstances created entirely by her to accuse Baldoni of insisting Lively to do uncomfortable. Hey! Hi, Jacqueline. Jacqueline Jackson. Thank you so much for joining our membership. How are you doing today? Hold on, let me take a break really quick and let me read the chat. Hello. Thank you so much for joining our membership. Guys, please welcome Jacqueline. Hello, hello. All right, let me catch up with you guys. Let's see what you guys are saying. I feel like we got a lot of stuff going on here. The director left. Deadpool. Yeah, that was brought up in this lawsuit. Ryan Reynolds is so good at playing the innocent boy next door, but it's obvious now it was all an act. He's as vile as she is. At first, I hated everyone that was saying that she was AH, but I can't unsee it after a 160-page lawsuit. I think I read that. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see Blake Lively same level as AH, like nowhere near at this point. But like I said, we need more information to come out. But if all this becomes true and she falsely accused Justin Baldoni, yeah, that's really bad. I don't think it was kindness from JB. I think it was like handling with caution, with the utmost grace to avoid confrontation. Justin should have just casted Scarlett Johansson as Lily Bloom instead. She's a much better actress and seems less problematic. Her wardrobe would have been better too. Gwen, that would be poetic. Now make a second This Us and cast Scarlett Johansson. I don't know if I can see Scarlett Johansson as that. I don't know. I like it when movies use actors that are like not well known. Because I don't know, sometimes it's nice to just have a fresh face in some movies. Hi, Cammy. Intimacy coordinator seems like a BS position anyways. Nicole, intimacy coordinators are actually important, and their jobs are more than just describing what goes where. Watch a video of one explaining. Very important work. Yeah, I can see it as important work. Wait until you get further in here. There's like some wild stuff JB says happens in the huge document involving some evidence we're going to represent in court. I'm ready for the court, y'all. I know. Let the trial stuff happen. The interview is actually what solidified that Ryan Reynolds did not like Justin Baldoni, because that was so awkward interviewing your wife's co-star in a movie. Wait, which interview are you guys talking about? That lawyer had to know there was no chance of winning this. Couldn't resist the money they'd make. The only thing that makes sense is that she genuinely thought he would not fight back. You can see JB being so uncomfortable. I'll blow my nose really quick. I heard that Justin Baldoni and his team were going to release like all the text messages this weekend or something. So keep an eye. Most egregiously, Lively later used these circumstances created entirely by her to accuse Baldoni of insisting Lively do uncomfortable or gratuitous scenes that were in fact proposed by the intimacy coordinator, and by all accounts very typical as of any actor performing simulated sex scenes. This is a well-documented and handwritten notes Baldoni took during meetings with intimacy coordinator and later read to Lively. Lively, in her recent allegations, misrepresented these ideas as personal, despite the fact that they were workshopping scenes for their character. She alleges Baldoni personally added graphic content, including a scene in which Miss Lively was to orgasm on camera. This is false. During a creative meeting, Miss Lively requested to take place in her home. Baldoni read to her his notes from the intimacy coordinator, including a suggestion that Lively's character orgasmed during a scene similar to the book. Lively remarked, "Oh no, I'm too old for that." Baldoni offered another suggestion instead, also from his notes from meeting with the intimacy coordinator. Baldoni then moved on. So again, they were trying to allege that Justin Baldoni was trying to involve or include too many gratuitous sex scenes with Blake Lively, and then with also the young version of Blake Lively's character as well. Romance montage. Oh, okay. So this is the part where I didn't think this was such a big deal. It could be seen as not such a big deal, because Blake Lively alleged that Justin Baldoni, there was a scene where he broke out of character and then like leaned towards her and then said that like, you smell good or something, which to her, like, yeah, that could be seen as like really fucking creepy. But when I was reading that, I wasn't sure if, even though it was a montage and she said that there was no microphones and there was no lines to be, said anyways, I don't know if he was still in character. Like, I don't know if he was trying to say like, oh, your hair smells good. That way, like when they're doing this montage, it just shows like him like talking to her, like whispering in her ear, like as a romantic moment or something. That's what I thought. All right, but this is what he says. So this is the romance montage of Lily and Ryle on their date. The producer played music to set the mood so the characters could slow dance. Lively, consistently unable to take direction, insisted she really liked the idea of the characters constantly talking because, as she stated, she and her husband like to keep talking, talking, and talking. In an attempt to encourage her to take his direction, Baldoni offered that he and his wife just often looked into each other's eyes silently, to which she responded like sociopaths. I wonder if she was just making a joke. I don't know, like just looking into like each other's eyes. I think talking and talking sounds more comfortable, but I don't know if maybe she was just joking, and laughed. Baldoni laughed and shook it off, while Lively once again started talking about how she and her husband can't not talk. Baldoni said, "I think that's cute," and complimented the couple, to which Lively responded, "I think it's more than cute." Lively continued arguing and tried to direct him for the scene, while they're supposed to be in character filming the scene. At some point, Heath and another producer, irritated, called Baldoni aside to express they can't capture the intended shot because Lively wouldn't stop talking. He was instructed somehow to get her to stop. While there was a brief verbal exchange, Baldoni, heeding the instructions of their assistant director and producers, continued to try to bring them back into character. As they were acting in this montage scene, Lively continued to break character and speaking as herself rather than as Lily, which was extremely confusing for Baldoni, who was trying to balance directing the scene within his artistic vision while also acting in character while filming and trying to get Lively to do the same. Lively apologized for the smell of her spray tan and body makeup. Baldoni responded, "It smells good," and continued acting slow dancing as he believed his character would with his partner, which requires some amount of physical touching. Lively took them out of character again and began to joke about Baldoni's nose, which he laughed off and joked in return, even as Lively joked that he should get plastic surgery. Lively incorrectly alleged that the scene was filmed without sound. Baldoni was wearing a microphone, and the entire exchange is caught on camera. So something tells me that we're gonna get to hear that exchange if it is caught on camera. See, since they're teasing that, these exchanges are caught on camera or there's like film, they better be able to provide it, okay? They can't be like, "Oh, we don't know where it is," or "it got lost." Like, no, they better be able to provide all this evidence that they are already hinting at. Any suggestion the scene was filmed in any manner other than pure professionalism by Baldoni is unequivocally countered with actual evidence. Her allegation of sexual harassment is documented and knowingly fabricated lie. Moreover, it was Lively who engaged in unchoreographed kissing scenes. One scene, again captured on camera, exhibits Lively pulling Baldoni in to kiss her. It is clear Lively was initiating unchoreographed kissing. In one take, she pulled Baldoni in and kissed him once, and another twice. And the number of kisses, entirely initiated by Lively, changed at her whim. Baldoni, as a professional actor who, among the roles, played the lead love interest in television's Jane the Virgin for 5 years, 100 episodes, is like most actors accustomed to rehearsing or filming scenes multiple times, often with variations without needing permission. Yeah, I always had questions about that. About whether or not, how much is improvision allowed in like kissing scenes, in sex scenes, in scenes that require touching and stuff like that. How much is improvision allowed? Is it just usually like kind of like a known industry thing where it's like, okay, like, people improvise. Like how would you discern that from them being professional in acting versus them being creepy? While in character, without needing permission while in character. Lively now takes issue with the innocuous improvision Baldoni, as Ryo, may have allegedly initiated while in character. Baldoni treated their relationship on camera as professional, each playing their part, each doing their part. No one was supposed to improvise. Baldoni would have no way of knowing based on Lively's own actions. Lively demonstrated again and again this was normal and acceptable part of filming romantic scenes. Lively also complained that there was inappropriate improvised kissing during the first period of filming before the strike break. But in fact, the only 2 kissing scenes filmed during the initial filming period were both scenes that included kisses as written in the script. These kissing scenes were not improvised. Point 4. No physical touching of Lively, including hugging or comments on her physical appearance, except in connection with the character and or scene work, not as to Lively personally. To be clear, none of the named parties touched Lively when not in character, especially in the manner suggested. While Baldoni and Wayfair clearly agreed that co-workers should respect physical space, Lively's constant confusion of references to a character as played by Lively as opposed to Lively herself became problematic and interfered with production. This caused in large part by Lively's persistent desire to redirect and inability to accept direction. For example, her allegation that Baldoni inappropriately called her sexy was in fact a reference to a scene when everyone was wearing onesies. But Lively was covering her onesie with a big coat. Baldoni, her director, asked that she take off the coat so that her onesie would be visible on the scene. Baldoni said it will be hot, as it was 90 degrees in a small bar with no air conditioning. Lively mischaracterizes this in her complaint, and Baldoni referring to her personally as hot, using the slang term of the meeting, given that Lively herself had expressed to him that she wanted her character's wardrobe to be sexier. Baldoni encouraged her to accept direction by saying, "It's sexy," meaning that without the big coat, the wardrobe was sexier, as Lively said that she wanted it to be. Lively took this personally. She was unable to take direction, later alleging his behavior was inappropriate regarding her self-chosen wardrobe, stating, "That's not what I'm going for." Baldoni, recognizing that she may have been taking his direction personally, and appeared offended, apologized more than once. Now, Blake Lively alleges in her complaint that the cast members around her, or like maybe there was like another cast member that was there that saw this, basically empathized with Blake Lively and went to console her. So I don't know. We're getting this right here could be like maybe multiple interpretations, you know, maybe Justin Baldoni was being professional and maybe it's been taken the wrong way. Or maybe when he said it, he said it in a way that was very creepy where there were other people around. They were also like, "Ooh, that's kind of creepy. Like, I'm going to go over there and console Blake Lively." So again, we're going to have to hear from the cast members for this. However, there's a footnote here. This is well documented on camera while filming. So which part is documented? I think this part, right? Yeah, I think, right here. The onesie parts. So we're going to be able to see cuts of it. Maybe, if this goes to trial. His statements were immediately followed by his gesture that she had something in her teeth and a request for someone on set to get a toothpick. This exchange, all of which is captured on camera, demonstrates how ludicrous and deliberately malicious Lively's allegations are. I can't wait to see that on camera. While on the other hand, Lively accuses Baldoni of making comments about her appearance, and on the other, she made derogatory statements about Baldoni's appearance, telling him he should undergo rhinoplasty, something Baldoni has publicly expressed insecurities about and has discussed in an episode of his podcast and exploring the topics of body dysmorphia. Lively's comments about Baldoni's nose also captured on camera. Baldoni, rather than write down a list of grievances against Lively, brushed it off and moved on with the scene. Man, now that like he has like, I don't know, they keep referring to that it's recorded, it's already documented on film and camera. I bet you they already located all this. They probably located it and they probably went back to be sure and make sure that like, hey, like, did it sound creepy? Like, let's see what really happened here. What's the context here? Man, I hope they have that evidence, because if they are just misremembering it and real evidence comes out and it's completely opposite of what they're alleging, you know, won't look good. While on the other hand, on the one hand, Lively accuses Baldoni of making comments about her appearance. On the other, she made derogatory comments about Baldoni's appearance, telling him he should undergo a nose job, something Baldoni has, I already read this. Baldoni's sincere dedication to what he has repeatedly described as holding himself accountable as a man was being used against him, just as Lively is attempting to do now. To characterize his insensitivity to her personal reaction to his creative direction, which was not only innocuous and well-intended, is malicious. To then share his knowingly false characterization with the New York Times for publication months before filing any formal complaint, then waiting nearly 2 weeks to file the complaint before the court, is inexcusable. I mean, but if he was going to sue her, then there would still be discovery. I don't know, we already talked in the beginning of the video, but if he was going to sue her, there would already be discovery that she would have to go through. She would have to turn herself, blah, blah, blah. And then it seems like, she put the complaint out, but she still ended up suing him anyways. As in fact, when she filed the lawsuit against Justin Baldoni, it was the same day that Justin Baldoni filed a lawsuit against the New York Times. And they were like, oh, well, there's a reason why she's not filing a lawsuit is because of this. But little did they know that she was actually going to file the lawsuit the same day. Point 5, no discussion of personal experience with sex or nudity includes as it relates to conduct with spouses or others. Did those other guys harass her also? She also mentioned the Wayfair CEO, Jamie Heath. When Baldoni was faced with this demand, he was utterly confused. By the time Lively and Baldoni were developing their intimate scenes together, they had developed a friendly relationship and were communicating often over text messages. Lively felt comfortable expressing herself and appearing to do so freely. She took pictures of Baldoni holding and comforting her newborn in her home. Baldoni filmed her uncontrollably laughing with him as they rehearsed late into the evening, often delirious with exhaustion. None about the interaction suggested Lively was uncomfortable around Baldoni, though confused by this demand and denied the opportunity to revise the return to production demands to make them factually accurate and less misleading. Welfare had no choice but to sign the document. In response to the proposal from the intimacy coordinator, the Baldoni's character riled not orgasm after he satisfied Lily. Lively remarked, "I'd be mortified if that happened to me," personalizing the character's sexual act. Baldoni, following Lively's lead in what he understood to be an attempt to connect with and develop their characters, remarked that those have been some of the most beautiful moments between himself and his wife. Then they moved on. In another instance, as Lively and Baldoni were developing the scenes, Lively said, "I don't want it to look like porn," then offered that she had never seen porn in her life, a very personal fact. Baldoni complimented her and said that's wonderful because unfortunately he was first exposed to it when he was 10 years old, struggled with porn addiction for a period of time in his life. He writes openly about, like, I don't know, like this is like additional knowledge that I don't think we really need, but they're adding it in there for the public. It's like, I don't know, like, yes, let's just give all the background story and everything, I guess. But I don't know, I feel like we don't really need this. So he suffered from porn addiction from a young period. He writes about it in his book. That's the title of his book. There's another book right there. Addressing pornography as a societal problem. Anyone who knows this or has done research about Baldoni would have knowledge of this, and it can no way characterize inappropriate, especially after opening the door to discussion by disclosing something highly personal. In every turn, Baldoni was entrapped. Moreover, Heath, who had nothing to do with this exchange, has never had a porn addiction or even mentioned porn in Lively's presence, was knowingly and falsely lumped into this accusation. Yeah, because I guess like Blake Lively was trying to say that Justin Baldoni and Jamie Heath kept overstepping personal boundaries by just openly sharing that they had a porn addiction and blah, 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 sharing videos of like nude stuff or sharing videos of what Blake Lively initially thought was porn, but it wasn't. It was like, his wife giving birth and stuff like that. And so they're trying to give us more context about actually, like, yes, he did say this, but he said that because of this and he said a response of this, and this is the full context of it. But again, this is like his version of the event. But I guess I understand why they brought up the porn addiction thing in his past, because they're trying to show the like, oh, to Justin Baldoni. I don't know. No, I feel like some of the stuff they add here is just like, let's just give so much information here to make people really feel bad. But they don't need to. I feel like we already can feel bad without having all this extra information. I don't know. Ryan and Blake can't stop talking, that I believe. Yeah, I could see that too. Lively continued with an outrageous and knowingly false suggestion that she was shown pornography or naked images of Heath's wife on set. Oh, this is the birthing scene. So again, she was saying that like, oh, they showed me this video of this woman giving birth and like, that's weird. And so Jamie Heath was like, oh, this is just a video of my wife giving birth. And I was just trying to show you what the vision is like for when you give birth in the movie, blah, 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 maybe. Point 6, no one to enter Lively's trailer while she was undressed. No one would or did enter Lively's trailer without knocking first and asking permission. More than once, Lively invited Baldoni, Heath, and other producers into her trailer so that she could multitask, understandably balancing motherhood with her work obligations. Regrettably, while accommodating Lively, Baldoni, and Heath were led into situations that would later be characterized as harassment. Lively herself invited Baldoni to her trailer to work lines while she pumped breast milk. Lively regularly breastfed in front of Baldoni while they had their meetings. Heath was invited into her trailer for a meeting at her request while she was having makeup removed from her collarbone. So again, Lively said that he came and she wanted to reschedule, but he was like, oh, there will be no other time to meet with producers. You have to meet now. And that's why she decided to acquiesce eventually. Her nanny, makeup artist, and assistant were present. Lively was not topless, as she claims elsewhere, but was fully covered by either nursing or pumping breast milk. In this instance, he was instructed to turn away while they spoke, and respectfully did so, while they figured a time to meet with other producers standing just outside the door, and as Heath pleaded with Lively to have the meeting the next morning to avoid her getting home late and losing shooting time the following day. While it is possible he inadvertently made eye contact at some point, he does not recall. Lively later mentioned he did, which made her feel uncomfortable, to which she responded, I'm so sorry, I really didn't realize. Lively responded, I know you weren't trying to cop a look. And they moved on. Lively's suggestion that not one, but two professional conscientious men barged into her trailer several times or attempted to enter or pressure her to allow them to enter offends not only the long-established integrity, but the sanctity of their vows to their wives, the dedication of the children, families. Lively is aware that both men are incredibly supportive and respectful of motherhood, to say at least. Point 7. No filming nude scenes or sex scenes without per nudity writer, and no use of prior nude scenes without nudity writer. Lively was provided a nudity writer approved by the SAG intimacy coordinator and was given ample opportunity to provide notes before production commenced. Lively not only didn't sign the nudity writer during the first phase of production, but never even signed her employment agreement. Her main concern, while Wayfair's lawyers were all but begging for signatures, was ensuring her fees were deposited into her escrow. They had to pay her fee even though she hadn't signed her agreements. SAG SAG-AFTRA states that producer must provide writers and actors with at least 48 hours notice before call time to review and negotiate a nudity writer. A nudity writer was provided by SAG-AFTRA. Intimacy coordinator working on the production was provided to Lively's counsel on May 8, 2023. Wayfair's attorney communicated that they would like to have it signed by May 11th and requested they send any notes they may have. May 12th, the next day, Lively's attorney finally responded they were reviewing the nudity writer and would come back with notes. Their focus shifted to ensuring Lively's fees were deposited into escrow. They became fixated on that despite Wayfair's repeated request for Lively to sign the customary certificate engagement first. Ultimately, despite constant pursuit, it became clear Lively had no intention of signing nudity writer or her contract at that time. How come? Why didn't she sign it? Why didn't they keep pushing her? So weird. Like, how did it end up that she didn't even sign it? Months later, the demand for a nudity writer became part of the 17 demands and presented as Wayfair, not Lively, who was the cause of this absence. The demand also stated that any footage previously shot with a nudity writer in place may not be used without Lively and her legal rep's consent, despite the fact that no simulated sex had been filmed yet. In fact, only one scene involving simulated nudity had ever been filmed, and it was a scene that Lively knew well in advance, given that she wrote it herself, knew when it would be filmed, and directed the action herself without requesting a nudity writer or an intimacy coordinator. Point 8, Lively entitled to personal rep on set. People were returning her products because they were getting split ends. I'm even surprised people were even buying her products. I thought no one bought her products. Wayfair had no objection to allowing Lively a personal rep. Point 9, the COVID-19 exposure. Again, doesn't really address much, but in Big Lively's complaint, she talked about how she and her baby were exposed to COVID. Wayfair knew about this and no one warned her. Point 10, no retaliation of requests. While Wayfair in no way conceded that Lively's demands amounted to report of genuine sexual misconduct, Wayfair had no interest in retaliating against Lively for making these demands. Their only desire was to make a great movie. In the interest of maintaining a professional and productive atmosphere on set, they agreed to meet all of her demands, including a broadly defined statement that would not retaliate in any manner, including sarcasm. Wayfair agreed, though later became clear that Lively would consider any future effort to push back her against her demands with respect to the production made unacceptable retaliation. On information belief, this demand was included to safeguard Lively not from retaliation, but to secure her place as leader of the film, with the threat of claims of retaliation if Wayfair or Baldoni pushed back. Ooh, that is a big, lofty claim. I don't know, because they're claiming that she was already malicious to begin with, that they were like, oh, the reason why she made up all this shit and came up with this, demand that Wayfair and the team had to sign and agree to is because ultimately her goal was to take over the film and use this as a way to threaten him. I don't know. That's just like, that's like super malicious. I just don't know if I'm just really there yet. Need more. But that's what they think. So maybe upon discovery, maybe we'll find out. Point 14, Wayfair to use Lively approved body and stunt doubles for intimate and sexual violence scenes. Despite not requesting this at the contract negotiation phase, Lively's pre-approved stunt and body doubles were fully acceptable to Wayfair, and so they agreed, despite the fact that it was an additional unplanned expense to the film. Ultimately, no body doubles were used in the film. At Lively's request, Lively and Baldoni displayed a courteous and professional relationship throughout phase 2 of production. This was an overstep. No filming nude or sex scenes of actress portrayal of Lily except for her nudity writer, and no use of prior nude scenes without nudity writer. This was an overstep, an attempt to expand Lively's right into her own nudity writer to assert control of a nudity writer of another actor. The actor portrayed young Lily. While seeing this as infringing on the young actor's independent right to her own nudity writer, Wayfair once again was forced to agree while informing Lively that young Lily had already filmed her intimate scenes pursuant to her own nudity writer. Point 16, all day players must be hired through talent agencies, not personal connections. Again, they had an issue with Justin Baldoni asking his friend to play the doctor that was helping Blake Lively give birth, and she was saying that, this is weird, this is unprofessional. However, they say that this is not just a random person that was Justin Baldoni's friend. This person actually is an award-winning Shakespearean trained actor with an MFA in acting from UCLA, and in addition to appearing on numerous hit television shows, had toured nationally with a Tony award-winning acting company and attended Oxford's acting program on a full scholarship. His accolades and performance speak for themselves. Lively's current complaint states that she was alarmed when Baldoni introduced him as a friend and allowed him to play this intimate role in which the actor's face and hands were in close proximity to her nearly nude genitalia. Categorizing the experience as invasive and humiliating. It is Lively's suggestion that a highly trained and experienced actor would have been unseemly interest in being in close proximity to her nearly nude genitalia. There's a false statement that only a small piece of fabric covering her genitalia during the birth scene. Lively was wearing briefs, again, wearing a hospital gown and a pregnancy suit covering her midsection. Point 17. All hands meeting before production resumes. Wayfair understood this request to be a sincere offer to meet and discuss the needs and preferences of Lively and other cast members to ensure comfort and security while filming a movie that dealt with difficult themes. Lively, with the support of her husband, uses demand to justify an ambush at Baldoni and Heath on the eve of the first day of filming in the Phase 2 production. Importantly, Sony, who also had a rep on the set, found the 17 requests confusing as well. So this is from Sony to Jamie Heath, the Wayfair CEO. Hey, Jamie, took a look at the conversation. Take a look at this following our conversation. No change in my mind for what we discussed last evening. Items 1 through 10, 15, 17 are basically yes, of course. Interestingly, I'm surprised that you don't already have a negotiated nudity writer in place given the subject matter and content in the book. Am I misrepresenting her comment? 11 to 13, I want to hear more about what is underlying and what she's hoping to accomplish, respectfully, of course, in the hope that some combination of the studio rep and the empowerment of Alex, presumably, whatever that means, again, hope for clarification, might mitigate the need to engage an additional A-level producer. For item 14 is another question mark since it sounds like she approved the engaged stunt double. As for 16, I guess I'm confused about this one as well, why the engagement of day player has found its way on this list. Perhaps some of the upcoming sensitive scene involve day players, extras, and there's an attempt to manage the perception of their professionalism. Anyway, again, another clarification point. Further as discussed, overall, the tone of the response has to be part denying the underlying insinuations and allegations, but doing so in a way that doesn't inflame or escalate further, since most of what's on the list Wayfair is acknowledging and addressing. And of course, any unease on her part is a paramount concern to the production. Y'all are committed to working with her to ensure that she's comfortable with the plan and execution in the next few days in order to complete photography, right? Before returning to production, Lively had more script notes and changes beyond what was already performed during Phase 1 of production. In the face of these terrifying and false accusations, couched as demands, as well as Lively's threat she would not return to production, Baldoni realized he needed to cede control of the script to Lively as she wished. His film would be taken from him by threats and coercion. There was nothing to be done about it. In an email to his team containing the notes on the revised scripts, he expressed his sadness and frustration over Lively's takeover film that they had spent years developing, writing, funding. Having no energy left to fight, he sadly declared he was waving the white flag and submitting what he would give Lively 98% of what she wants. Just go to the email. So this is from Justin Baldoni to the members of the production team. I spent the better part of the last few days. Oh, this was in December 27, 2023. I spent the better part of the last few days trying to figure this out. Everyone knows how I feel about this and how angry I am that Blake has taken over a film and somehow rewrote a movie we spent years developing, writing, and funding. So yes, I'm furious and sad, but I will continue to get back up with the goal of getting us to the finish line. I've come to terms with the fact that the only way out is through. I am waving the white flag and submitting. I am giving her 90% of what she wants. I'm sure none of us have the energy to fight anymore. Then the team who has been working their asses off needs a shooting script on January 2nd. The big issues are going to be intimacy. How and what are we going to shoot for those scenes, and how the script is going to be presented to her and with what notes. To that end, we all need to get on the phone and talk through it, as the risk of something innocuous or not meeting her standards could and would very likely be used against me, as it already has. And creativity is impossible in an environment shrouded in fear. By now, we all know what she is capable of. A producer thanked Baldoni for his thoughtful breakdown, especially considering the circumstances. As producers continue to request a final shooting script, as they were just 4 days before commencement of filming, Baldoni worked hard with a very limited time to rework the script and direction to meet Lively's demands, recognizing that they would be in negotiation for what the final script looks like. Lively demands continued to cause additional work and stress for the production team. Justin to production team. I'm not quite sure how to handle this, but I'm doing these small rewrites. I'm going to be sending back to the producers and all of you, and then they are going to send it to Blake, and then we will be in negotiation for what the final script looks like. Meanwhile, on the day before commencement on the second phase of filming, Lively casually reached out to Baldoni together with Heath and film producers to meet in her home. Lively return to production's demand required a meeting before filming resumed. On the day before filming, Heath, Baldoni, and Sony, the film's first AD, two producers arrived with the production binders in tow, excited to discuss resuming production, but Lively and her husband had a very different meeting in mind. Lively brought Reynolds as her chosen rep. Notably, she did not request any attendees from her union, the SAG. Together, Ryan Reynolds and Lively blindsided the rest of the group with a list of grievances read out loud by Lively that were troubling as they were fictional. Reynolds then launched into an aggressive tirade berating Baldoni in what Baldoni later described as a traumatic encounter. As Baldoni later said, he had never been spoken to like that way in his life. Do we have videos of this? Probably not. Let me get some more water. Oh, guys, get up, stretch. Oh, get up and stretch and drink some water. His good buddy got to play doctor with the star in Stirrups. I want to go back to the movie and be like, who is this actor friend of his? Hey, Moondog, how's it going? Oh, hey, Lair Bear, how are you doing today? Oh my god, it's almost. Oh my god, it's almost 2 o'clock. Wait, how long have we been streaming for? I was hoping we'd be done by 1. How did people cover this lawsuit in 1 hour? Wait, uptime. Oh gosh. Today I went to the Potbellies to pick them up. Potbellies? I haven't heard of Potbellies in so long. 2 hours and 35 minutes? Ah! All right, guys, let's turn the heat down. Let's turn the heat down and chill out, all right? Let's turn it down a little bit. Hi, Lauren. Oh my gosh, I know I'm still here. I thought I'd be done by 1 o'clock. What's going on? I've been streaming for 2.5 hours. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, okay, next time when we cover a long-ass lawsuit, I need to be careful and not highlight everything. I think maybe I over-highlighted. I probably over-highlighted. Oh, all right. I want to hear from Colleen Hoover. Where's Colleen Hoover at? She's kind of quiet in this. What's going on, Ginny? Hello. How's everyone doing today? Oh gosh, I have this one toe that is super itchy and it's like really painful. And I don't know if it's eczema or if it's like athlete's foot. So I just put both medications on. I don't know. I don't know if you even do that. I'm just like mixing it all up. But I can't tell if it's eczema because it could be eczema. Because you know how eczema gets really itchy and then it hurts? But it could also be athlete's foot as well. But it's only on one toe, which is so weird. Hey Lily, how are you doing today? How's it going? All right, guys. Where are we in this? You talking about dragons now? I thought she was Khaleesi, not the dragon. I don't really see the Khaleesi and the dragon thing, though. I know people kept reporting about Khaleesi and the dragon thing, but I don't see it like explicitly in the text messages. I know it's referenced in this lawsuit, but I need to see that. All right. What do we have here? Oh, it doesn't stink. No, it doesn't smell. Maybe I gotta get closer. Yeah, I don't smell anything. So maybe it's eczema? I don't know, but it hurts though. Isn't that weird that it hurts? So it could be eczema, right? Sometimes eczema hurts. Like when it's like pink, but it's not pink though. It's not pink and it's not flaky. It just looks like it's swollen. Any doctors in the chat? My sleep schedule has been pulverized to smithereens this week. I feel like that's you all the time. All right. Let's get back into this. Oh my gosh, we're almost there. Psych, I'm just kidding. I'm totally lying to you guys. We're almost there, hopefully. Okay. Let's see. Are we getting into the tirade? Lively brought Ryan Reynolds as her chosen rep. Notably, she did not request any attendees from her union. Together, Reynolds and Lively blindsided the rest of the group with a list of grievances read out loud by Lively that were troubling as they were fictional. Reynolds then launched into an aggressive tirade, berating Baldoni in what Baldoni later described as a traumatic encounter. As Baldoni later said, he never had been spoken like that in his life. Reynolds demanded that Baldoni apologize to Lively for actions that had either never happened or had been grossly mischaracterized. Baldoni, resisting apology, further enraged Reynolds. Producer Lively... Everyone, including the producer, Lively had asked the production to engage, and the Sony rep left the meeting in shock. We gotta get their depots. In his 40-year career, he never seen anyone speak to someone like that in a meeting. Sony's rep later said that she often thought of the meeting, and her one regret was not intervening to stop Ryan Reynolds' tirade against Baldoni. We need depots. Wayfarer had virtually no choice but to resume production to finish the film, despite the newfound certainty that Lively was intentionally manipulating, distorting, and inventing facts to use as a cudgel against Wayfarer. Oh, thank you so much, Lauren. Coffee donation. You deserve a little treat after this. Oh, thank you. Yes. I'm not a coffee person, but I will take some hot chocolate or some tea. Dry skin, bug bite. You know what? My water line was really itchy. And I don't know if it was eczema or like today it looks like it's like a tiny little bump now. So I was like, did I just get bit by a spider or something? Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it's not a spider bite. There is a daddy long leg that's like trolling around my bathroom. He was in my shower when I was showering, and for some reason he kept getting closer and closer to the water. So I had to like take him out and put him in the sink. And I was like, okay, I'll take him outside when I'm done. But I went back out there. He was gone. I don't know where he went. But I don't think daddy long legs bite, though. But we do have some spiders in here. They're just hanging around. All right, where are we at? It's crucial to note that this list of grievances read out loud at January 4, 2024 ambush were new and separate from the 17-point return to production demands and were never presented to any of the parties present. When I read Justin Baldoni's initial lawsuit, my impression was that he never saw that other separate list. And it wasn't until the lawsuit that was brought on by, or the complaint that was brought on by Blake Lively, that's when he saw it. But maybe I misunderstood, because now they're saying that they did see that list and it was brought when they were ambushed by Blake Lively and Justin Ryan Reynolds. Lively's complaint misleadingly suggests the parties agreed to a list of 30 items. Many of the lists listed in the CRD complaint were new, entirely based in lies, neither read nor approved or provided to any of the parties. Wait, what? I don't know. I'm confused. Was it not provided to the parties? Oh, so they're saying they never got that other list. No, but they said that it was the new note was read at January 4. Oh, but they're saying, oh, okay, so fuck, I don't know. This is confusing to me. Are they saying that part of it was shown during the January 4th ambush? And that part of it eventually led to being 30 items that was in the complaint? I don't know, a little confused here. No, AH is way worse. Blake Lively is nowhere near close to AH at this point. Not yet, not unless we find out that she's lying, but still, AH is way, way, way worse. The only document presented to the parties was a 70-point return to production demand presented on November 9, 2023, and signed over 2 weeks after this meeting on January 19, 2024. Lively's CRD complaint, on information belief she disseminated to the New York Times well in advance of any legal filing, is riddled with blatant and deliberate misrepresentation, as is her complaint here. Maybe because like this is more fresh in our minds and AH is not as fresh. If you guys were reminded all the shit that Amber Heard pulled, like nowhere near close. Okay, Amber Heard is like still whoop, she's still up there. She the S tier. She's all the way up there. We'll see with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. We'll see. Lively admits filming resumed the following day and then concluded without any further grievances or reference to the previous disputes by Lively. Lively had unleashed Reynolds on Baldoni and Wayfair. They felt powerless to oppose a couple. Just as Lively had warned in April 2023, 9 months before, Reynolds would ensure that Lively's demands were met at every return. I don't know. I think this is, I don't know. I think this is I felt like the way that she said it, if it was like super explicit, then yes, refer back to it. But it was like, I don't know. It was just like, you could interpret it that way, but I don't know. I think this is too much of a push. From then on, Lively would get her way, or else, yeah, she kept getting her way, but was it because Justin Baldoni was too scared to say no to her, or he was just too much of a nice guy, or, per the text messages, Blake Lively could just be like, well, what do you mean? But Justin Baldoni was so open to my opinions and changes. Look at him. He was encouraging me. He said I was being helpful. Unmistakably, Lively would let her carefully constructed paper trail to destroy Wayfair, Heath, Baldoni, and the film. F. Lively completes her usurpation of the film. All right, so the Directors Guild of America, they give directors 10 weeks of editing time uninterrupted, and it's a private moment, okay? Very important moment. However, it seems like Blake Lively wanted to get access to the editing bay for 2 days. What became 2 days ended up being more than that, and then she ended up kicking Justin Baldoni out altogether. Oh boy. Okay, so Justin Baldoni writes, this is 2024, February 25th. Good morning, Blake. Blank and I had a great chat the other day, and he let me know you'd like to come into the edit before you leave for your film, and I think it's a great idea. Why, Justin Baldoni? Why would you say it's a great idea? Oh God, Justin, just say no. Just like, it's a great idea. I agree that we work really well together. And with all of you put into this film, I completely understand wanting to give you your notes and have input before you leave for your other movie. With that, I started my cut on Thursday, so tomorrow will be day 3. The movie's currently all over the place, and I need a few weeks to get it into some sort of shape to even present it to you. What I would love to do is bring you on the 18th, have us work together until you leave. Why? Just say no. Just say no. Just be like, no. Did I hear the first week of April? Then once you were in Italy, as things progress. What? Oh, by the way, what movie is Blake Lively doing? It seems like she was filming in Italy. Does anyone know what movie this is? What is this? Once you're in Italy, as things progress, you can jump in on any free days or even on days you have long wait between the scenes. I'm also happy to send you progress scenes, etc. with any big changes that are made, as well as we know things change all the time during the cut. I don't know, man. Like, I'm glad that they are putting Justin Baldoni's text messages ahead of it, because if Blake Lively was the one that was presenting his text messages, it could just be seen as like, oh yeah, Justin was agreeing to it all along. Like, what do you mean he had no issues with this? Because that's the sentiment that I get from these text messages. But he's saying that behind the scenes, he didn't want to, but he was forced to because he felt like he had to. He felt like he had to acquiesce, and he had to meet the demands of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. But I don't know. I feel like she can argue the opposite. Okay, so she's going to be in Italy. What movie is she filming in Italy? Does anyone know? Simple Favor 2. I heard they are not doing a Simple Favor 2, which I'm sad. I want to see a Simple Favor 2. I heard they're like, they cut it. Oh, Vasquez. Oh yeah, give me a Vasquez in here. For me, the editing process is a time to try things and throw it out against the wall to see what sticks. It's my favorite part of the process. So once you take off, we can keep you in the loop and send you stuff to the extent you want to see it as we get closer to locking picture. Thanks. Blake Lively, February 25th, 2020. Oh, here's a little doggy. You see the lammy lamb? Look at the lammy lamb. So cute. All right, so Blake says, hey, thank you for the note. I appreciate it. I'd love to be in the passenger seat with you as soon as possible. I don't need you to formally present anything. I understand you've just seen the first assembly and have a mountain ahead of you. I'll be invaluable to you in recall alone as you put together what you're looking for. I've also been rewatching all the dailies. Ton of nuanced gems. The sooner we put our heads together, the better. Damn, she is really co-directing this. Justin! What does he reply? What does he say? Oh, we don't get the X anymore. Before she was signed X, no more X. Okay, now it's just B. Very excited to dive back to the work. Let me know. Hey, Blake, I hear you, and I do know how helpful you have been and continue to be. Why, Justin? Why write this? I do need some time to get sorted with the editors and wrap my head around the film itself. I will reach out to you at the end of the week to let you know the progress I have made so we can figure out the best time for you to start with me. Thank you. I mean, definitely like a little bit more colder than his other text messages, but still, it's like, I hear you. I know you want to be helpful. Oh, God, you have been helpful, and you continue to be like, oh, gosh, don't tell her that. You know, if you don't think she's helpful, if you think she's causing a headache, don't tell her that. In February and March 2024, Baldoni acceded to the request that Lively will be let into the editing process. Big mistake. We've already went over these text messages. These are messages with him and his editors. So he's like sucking it up. He's letting her take over. Everyone's like, oh my God, Justin, poor you. Why? All right, March 2024, Lively continued pushing for her demands, and what has been a 2-day collaboration extended to 10. Oh boy. Lively sought to work alone in the editing bay without Baldoni so that she would have full control. Though Baldoni incorporated 7 pages of her notes into his edit at the very start, consistently kept her involved in every subsequent edit despite having absolutely no obligation to do so, Lively was not satisfied with merely collaborating with a director. She wanted to be the director and see her own creative vision for the film realized. Yeah, she took over, man. She was like, listen, I don't want to be just a fucking actress. I don't want to be peddling hair products. I don't want to be peddling, drugs or not drugs, alcohol, I want to do more. I want to be a director. I want to be a producer. And, I think she took this opportunity to do just that. But I mean, I wonder what was going on. Was it because, I don't know. What was the explanation that I possibly thought of where Blake Lively was at? I don't remember now. Was it like, she took over because the casting crew weren't happy with Justin Baldoni. She thought that she had to take the reins. I don't know, but like the editing and all that stuff. Jeez, I don't know. I honestly just think she just wanted to just have this project be hers, Mine. All right, more text messages where I've already read them and other lawsuits. Again, Justin Baldoni saying that she's getting to edit, which is what she wants. Let's remember that. Justin Baldoni also says, for the record, she's been getting what she wants this entire movie. Everyone feels bad for Justin. Justin's like, I'm just taking it, whatever. Okay, April and May 2024, Lively's extortionate threats coerced Sony to allow her to create her own cut of the film. Why did Sony allow this? Why? We're talking Sony here. Sony! Sony's reasons for acquiescing to these beyond unreasonable demands were clear. Sony told Wayfarer, clear or unclear? Sony's reasons for acquiescing to these beyond unreasonable demands were clear. Okay. Sony told Wayfarer in no uncertain terms that Lively refused to promote the film unless her demands were met. But isn't there a fucking contract though? Even if she's like, oh, well, I'm not going to promote the film if you don't make me make my own cut. It was like, okay, well, let's go to the contract then. Let's go to the contract and see what's up. Oh, no. Does she have a separate contract with Sony or something that Wayfarer did not know about? Like, what's going on here? Wayfarer feeling increasingly... So it's going to be like with the Depp Heard trial, right? So like I said, I don't think this is close to Depp v. Heard. But in Depp v. Heard, remember how we got Warner Brothers involved? You know, if this ever goes to trial, we're going to get Sony involved. Okay, I need to hear from Sony. Sony, what's up? What's going on here? Why are we letting Blake Lively do so many things? Or did Sony believe that there were allegations, that the allegations were true, and that's why they were tiptoeing around Blake Lively, like, okay, like, you know, like, I'm sorry this happened, the allegations were like, they believed that it was true, and so they were like going with her demands because they didn't want her to voice out what was really going on behind production. Like, is that what was going on here? Wayfarer, feeling increasingly coordinated to agreeing to Lively's demands, attempted at least to require that Lively finally sign her engagement contract if her demands were to be met. Even this basic ask was refused, and Sony urged Wayfarer to give in. I need to know about this engagement contract because it seems like it was something that was already supposed to be signed before the movie began filming. Why is it such a big deal to not sign it? Gosh, this is a little bit blurry. May 2nd, this is a Sony executive. Jamie, I have Redacted on here too. Redacted has gotten Blake to approve the trailer we want, with our narration, the chair kick, the bruise, etc. And Blake is calling Taylor to approve the song. She, of course, just reached out saying she asked for time with Redacted, her editor. We know it was conditional on signing contract. Can we see the contract? But asking if you will reconsider. So Redacted can release this trailer and Blake does not change her mind, calling Taylor Swift. Wait, hold on. Was Sony so excited to have Taylor Swift be a part of it and have her song be on the trailer that they were willing to let Blake Lively have her own edits or something? Like, I don't know. She is, of course, just reached out saying she's asking for time with Redacted, her editor. We know it was conditional on signing contract. But asking if you will reconsider. So it seems like it wasn't part of the contract, but then it's not part of the contract. Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, can you guys reconsider? So Blake could release this trailer, and Blake does not change her mind, calling Taylor Swift. Jamie, I'm available to talk on the phone. Call me if you're free. Look at this next message from Sony executive. You guys don't want to play ball. You are going to delay and greatly hurt the movie. Good luck. I don't know, man. There is some ire that I'm getting from Sony. Right here is a little bit weird. Right here is like, okay, we're being really aggressive. You know, a little bit passive aggressive here, but now we're past passive aggressive, right? That is only if you want to make this date. We are going to need the push. Finish director cut, and we can have multiple previews down the road. We need more context. Baldoni and the film's original editors were not even allowed to see Lively's cut, even if it's just to see how much of their work had been replaced. Yeah, I don't understand that. Why were they why couldn't they see her cut? Why couldn't they see her cut? Was there a secret plan? So did Blake Lively go to Sony, complain about everything that Justin Baldoni allegedly did on the set, and then slowly Sony was also agreeing to slowly push out Justin Baldoni as well, and basically distance themselves from Wayfarer and Justin Baldoni because they thought the allegations were true? It's just so crazy to me how they let her have her own cut. Then at some point when she had her own cut, they couldn't even take a look at it. Like, I don't know. I need to see the Sony emails. Like, I need to see the behind emails with Sony. What's going on here? Still believing that in a sane and just world, despite Lively's continued extortion, an actress would never be allowed to usurp his legal right as a director to create and release his cut of the film, he assumed that Lively's edits would simply supplement his work. Thus, Baldoni continued refining his director's cut. But as Lively threatened to refuse to promote the film or approve any related marketing materials, like, I don't know, man, something is happening behind the scenes that just hasn't been covered yet. Something is up. I feel like both sides haven't covered what's going on like behind the scenes right now. I don't know. We'll have to wait for more details. Ugh, I hate waiting. As Lively threatened to refuse to promote the film or approve any related marketing materials, such as trailer, posters, and social media posts, a doomsday scenario for this major motion picture, Wayfarer, Baldoni worked toward into acquiescing to more and more demands. This included co-founding, together with Sony, a friends and family screening of her version of the film, which they had not even approved or even seen, entirely at Lively's insistence. Ultimately, Lively replaced film's editors with her own choice, an editor often used by Reynolds, and the film's editors had to be let go. She also replaced the film's award-winning composer with composers from Reynolds' recent project, even though the film's composer had already finished the score and orchestra, which is costly. Sony supported Lively's demands and even forced her to dictate that the film's director and editors not be permitted even to view her cut. Wayfarer and Sony found themselves in an unprecedented and uncomfortable predicament of having two competing versions of the film, one made by the film's actual director and one made by the person with no contractual or creative right to even approach the editing bay, let alone made her own cut. But in light of Lively's threat to withhold promotion of the film, as well as her thinly veiled threat to end Baldoni's career with a slew of false accusations, the studio reluctantly agreed to do an official audience test of both versions. Again, at Wayfarer and Sony's expense. This decision was made on the understanding that Lively had agreed with Sony that if Baldoni's director's cut tested higher, she would drop the matter and fully cooperate so Baldoni could finish the film without further interference. Tellingly, in a side-by-side comparison to the audience test, Baldoni's cut scored significantly higher with key audience demographics. Fortunately, I can't see this. It's a little bit blurry. In an early document, there's a lengthy exchange with the author about how a different book got shelved and the supporters of the book lost out, and Justin gave her his word it wouldn't happen again. Yes, I briefly just glazed over that. Yeah, how Colleen Hoover was initially, like, she was a little bit reserved about working with Justin Baldoni, but she just wanted to make sure Justin Baldoni had proper funding for it and a proper business plan, because previously when she had another book that they wanted to turn into a movie or a TV show, I forgot, they were going to crowdfund it. I think they've raised like $100K, but then it ended up not happening, and she felt like a lot of her fans and supporters were the one who contributed to that, the money to the movie. So, yes. Okay, so here is the screen comparison sheet. In our key demo, over 20% higher in the excellent rating and 50% higher in the definite recommends. That says it all. One would think. I'll have info at 4. Here's my info. She lost. Can we now move forward? Thank you. The only group she went up with in the excellent category was men, and they are absolutely not our audience. And that's only because she's focused more in the movie on herself, and men like to look at Blake Lively. Men are such pigs. I feel like the up in men and women over 35 is something to look at, but it's so close that could be just that particular audience and or trailer factor. Or maybe there's something there to consider. Does it mean her? So these are two different editors who are commenting on this. Not surprisingly, Lively reneged on her promise and insisted that her version be released to the public instead of Baldoni's cut as director, even claiming that the book's author, Colleen Hoover, would refuse to promote the film as well if Lively's version was not chosen. Sony called to tell Wayfarer that neither Lively nor any of the cast would promote the film unless Lively's cut were used. So Baldoni, he stood down, he allowed Lively's version of the film to be released and promoted. Eventually, with the key demographic being the focus, Sony and Screen Engine convinced Lively to put back as much of Baldoni's edits as possible as they could. None of this was officially communicated to Baldoni, but whispers reached him that part of his cut made it back to the final release. I mean, I feel like the movie's already out. We don't have to act like we don't know what really happened. The movie's already out. Justin Baldoni could just say whether or not a huge chunk of it was part of the final release. Why are we not saying it? Justin Baldoni was in the hospital for a little bit. Lively shamelessly removed Justin Baldoni out of all the posters, trailers, and other promotional materials. Sony's objections, Lively insistence on screening her cut at the Book Bonanzas, Colleen Hoover's annual convention hosting authors and fans from around the world, an event that Baldoni had long been excited to attend. Sony made it known to Wayfair that per Lively, Baldoni could not attend. Lively appeared on a panel alongside Hoover and other cast members. He was not even allowed to review the final cut before it was shown to the world. Yeah, they like completely shunned him out. July 2024, Baldoni was completely locked out of the film's final cut. That's why I'm like, is there more stuff that happened? Lively was still not satisfied. She was not satisfied. I think at some point she was executive producer, but then she was given a producer credit. But then now she asked for the PGA mark, I guess. Is that what it was? Lively was not satisfied. She continued to extort Wayfair, Baldoni, even Sony threatening to abandon her contractual obligation to promote the film or approve marketing materials if she wasn't awarded a producer credit. This still wasn't enough. Lively later sought the coveted PGA mark on her producer credit, a certified designation licensed by the Producer Guild of America to identify producers who perform the majority of the producing work on a motion picture. I mean, it seems like, isn't that what happened? She fucking took over everything. However, Wayfair and Baldoni firmly resisted because Lively did not perform the duties of a producer and therefore did not merit the PGA mark. So I don't know what producers do. A distinctly highly valued and taken seriously within the industry, Wayfair and Baldoni refused to devalue the contributions of actual producers on the film and elsewhere who merited the mark and were unwilling to misrepresent Lively's contribution to the film. Any producers in chat? What do producers do? In response, Lively instructed Sony to tell Wayfair and Baldoni that any goodwill left between us is done. This we went over already in the previous complaints. Lively and Reynolds also unfollowed Justin Baldoni on social media, as did the book of the author, someone with whom Baldoni had maintained a 5-year personal relationship. Like, what happened here? Why did Colin Hoover decide to also unfollow? Was she on the set and she witnessed things were happening, or was she not on the set, but then she heard rumblings and rumors and she's like, ooh, actually, Justin Baldoni's not a good guy. I'm not going to follow him. The other cast members also unfollowed Baldoni as well, so they are the ones who were actually on set. They unfollowed Baldoni, creating a false impression that Baldoni had done something wrong. So either did they witness something happening on set and they were very unhappy with it, or did Blake Lively go back to them and was like, oh, hey, this and this happened, and then they were like, oh shit, that's really fucked up. Like, I don't know, what happened? Did they witness it themselves, or did they hear it from someone else, right? For example, Isabella Ferrer, cast as young Lily, exchanged grateful texts with Baldoni during and after her filming stint, which included a number of scenes involving intimacy. This is May 2023. You did awesome today. So happy to be working with you. From Justin Baldoni. Isabel replies, thank you so much. I'm so excited. Thank you for being a great director and being so wonderful to work with already. Let me know whenever you need me for anything. Justin Baldoni replies back, so kind. More to come. You are going to kill it. Yeah, so do you guys remember how Blake Lively's team omitted the upside down smiley face, and Justin Baldoni and his team were like, look, she omitted the smiley face. That's horrible. But now I'm like, well, there's a blank right there. Is it just like whatever program they use to extract the text messages? Does it just not bring over emojis? Because there's a gap right there, right? I don't know. That's a weird typo. Or is that just perfect enough for a little emoji smiley face to fit in there? I don't know. That's why I marked it. Okay, so let's see what she says. So kind, whatever. More to come. You're going to kill it. She loved the message. This is in July 11, 2023. So this is going to be, I think, after the strikes had started, right? Was it after the strikes? I think so. Isabella Ferrer writes, hey, just got my film developed from where we're shooting, so here is a sweet pic. I also did say thank you so much for the incredible experience on my first film. I still can't shake the feeling of it all because it was truly life-changing for me. You are such a wonderful, smart, sincere director, and you created such a comfortable, safe space for me. Like I could fully step into this role. I couldn't have asked for a more welcoming environment. It will stay with me for the rest of my life. See you soon, whether in the fall or later, and hope you're doing well. Smiley face X, and here's a picture. Justin, Isabella, wow, what a kind message. You were such a joy and pleasure to work with. Your openness, your raw talent, your kindness, your excitement made me fall in love with directing again. I'm so excited for your career and for everyone to see you in the film. You have a big career in front of you. Looking forward to seeing you again in September. Even if we don't need you to work, come visit. Okay, so it seems like she had already been done filming, and she had a positive experience with Justin Baldoni, you know? And it's not like... It seems like it was a message that was sent out of her own volition. She wasn't responding to him. She just sent it to him. I don't know. Okay. All right. Tellingly, Farah worked with Baldoni when Lively was not on set. It was not until Farah spent substantial time with Lively during film promotions that Farah felt compelled to shun Baldoni in repudiation of her warm words. So I wonder if, like Lively was like, oh, hey, by the way, Justin's pretty fucked up. This is what happened. She's like, oh, shit. Yeah, that's fucked up. Let's see. The premiere of the movie Deadpool and Wolverine. Reynolds approached Baldoni's agency, suggesting the agency was working with a sexual predator. Desperate, terrified, in its position for the first time, he sought expert guidance and was advised to engage crisis PR to be ready in case Reynolds and Lively decided to unleash their wrath on them. The proposal was wrongfully obtained from the very public relations company that once represented Baldoni, with whom he had recently severed ties. Was later used by Lively to knowingly and falsely assert that Baldoni had agreed to the most aggressive option in the proposal. So we saw the proposal, and, there are parts of it that look really bad, but they're trying to say that, yes, there was a very aggressive, last option, but it doesn't mean that we actually employed it, right? It's just a proposal. It doesn't mean we actually did it. So they're talking about like astroturfing, how they're going to make bots and try to show that there is like support, fake support for maybe Justin Baldoni and stuff like that. But it seems like maybe they didn't even have to go that far because the hate on Blake Lively may have already happened organically. So we already went over these text messages, what was included, excluded. Again, I don't know. Some of the messages that were excluded, I felt like it didn't really need to be included. I don't know. I feel like having it included, I don't know, didn't really give much of a different context. From my recollection, I don't think it really did. It might have showed more context of like what they're discussing about, maybe a tiny bit, but I felt like the messages could still be interpreted differently. Not just one way. But I mean, it's always good to provide context. So I think that's what they're trying to do. Provide like the before and the afters, not just what was like snipped out. But still, I feel like we need more chains. We need more of what's going on here. Okay, the purported marketing plan alleged created by Sony, which is later referenced in Lively's complaint, was agreed by all attached an exhibit. As a fact, even though it was merely talking points, not a binding contract, was never a plan Baldoni agreed to. Okay, so there is a thing that Sony had out where it's like, okay, well, here are the things to avoid when talking about the movie. We're going to talk about the resilience, the strength, as opposed to describing the film as a story about domestic violence. Empowerment is not just about standing up to adversity, but also about having the power to overcome within oneself and grow from it and developing agency to shape the future. Avoid talking about the film that makes it sad or heavy. It's a story of hope. Avoid talking about the film being represented in every woman's story. There's many stories of DV, and there's just one perspective that's inspired by Colin Hoover's own experiences growing up. Oh yeah, I forgot Hassan Minaj was in it. I don't know. I don't want to assume that everyone in one, category are all the same, right? So I was responding to actors are all famously pathological liars. Let's see. Any questions about the lack of diversity in the cast, overall guidance, blah, blah, blah. So these are just talking points. And, it's possible that Blake Lively took it and then just went the wrong direction. All right, August 11, Justin. Again, wanting to emphasize the voices of survivors, Baldoni was informed that Lively demanded he not attend the film's premiere on August 6. Just days before the film's premiere, Baldoni was still unsure if he would be allowed to attend. His friends and family, most traveling from outside New York, were left in limbo, unable to finalize travel plans or book a flight. Ay. Sony Wayfarer persuaded Lively to permit Baldoni and another Wayfarer team along with their friends and family to attend. However, they were relegated to a separate theater. They arrived at a different time than the rest of the cast, and then they were instructed to leave the red carpet immediately upon Lively arriving. Baldoni was also excluded from the official celebrity after party. Baldoni had to quickly organize and fund a separate after party for himself and the Wayfarer team. However, this time, his time on the red carpet was abruptly cut short when it was conveyed that Lively was on her way. Him and his family were quickly ushered away. They escorted Baldoni's group to a basement of the building. They had concession stand stock. Oh gosh, yeah. So when we were reading this for the first time, the description of the basement, the pictures looks exactly what I imagine in my head. Like, this looks so bad. You have a movie that he's supposed to be the director of, and like they're in this, like, what is this? It's like sodas back there. There's like, you know, some popcorns. There's like these like folding tables. Like, oh my god, this is just so sad. Oh gosh. But I don't know. Did he deserve this? Did he deserve this? Did he deserve this? Did he deserve this? We'll see. I mean, it looks like they're making the most out of it though. So it looks really cute. It looks really sweet. But like, this is just, this is sad. Like, this is, yeah, it is really sad. All right, let's see. Now let's get to whys, the whys. Why would Lively even seek to seize power over the film? Why would she insist on taking additional work for no additional pay or credit? On information and belief, Lively may have been motivated by a number of factors. She may have wanted to seize control of the film so that she can take over the production of the sequel, It Starts With Us. This motivation also explains why the cast, who may have hoped or had been promised a role in subsequent productions, would choose to side with such a powerful couple who themselves may genuinely believe they could destroy Baldoni and Wayfair and force them to cede or even sell the rights to the sequel. Yeah, I mean, Justin Baldoni would have to agree to sell the rights to them. One, I mean, I feel like if Lively did this, take control, then Justin Baldoni could just be like, well, fuck you, I'm not going to sell you the rights to it, and therefore she can't make the sequel, right? And then also, if she was already a powerful, you know, they're already a powerful company to begin with, or couple to begin with, couldn't she have just done it because she was already so powerful and she already was like, I don't know, it seems like Sony was already like working with her. I don't know, like, I don't know, maybe. Like, I feel like she just saw the opportunity to just steamroll a new director, a sort of, I don't want to say he's inexperienced because he does have experience, but like, compared to like other directors who's been in the field for like 20, 30 plus years, right? Justin Baldoni was still seen as like probably like, you know, someone who was like kind of new to it, with less than like 5 years experience. So I think she saw it as an opportunity, and you know, it seems like Justin Baldoni was telling her that she was being helpful and all that, you know, nice compliments, that she was like, oh, okay, well, you know, I'm gonna take this opportunity and do what the fuck I want with this creatively. I don't want to just be an actress anymore. Lively may have felt driven to match her star husband Ryan Reynolds, who is widely reported insisting on taking so much control of the film Deadpool 2 that the director, Tim Miller, need to know about this, left the production. Seeing the fame and success that Reynolds commanded, she may have adopted his oft-repeated pattern wholesale to seize her own power and control. Following his lead in evidence by many statements by Lively that he is involved in every project that she works on and vice versa, Lively and Reynolds accustomed to getting their way, perhaps feeling entitled. Maybe. Lively's power grab and catastrophic miscalculation collapses on her. Starting at least July 10, 2024, Lively's social media posts. Oh, God. Why do we have to go over the social media posts again? I mean, it's good for them, but like, come on. Do we need to get reminded about these outfits? Like, okay, all right. So, July 10, 2024. Let's remind you guys all of her outfits that she was wearing, the glamorous, the floral-inspired couture, the highlighting high-end brands like Chanel and Christian Louboutin. So we got the outfits here, the cutout jeans. If audience had half the amount of fun we did, we're going to put theme parks out of business. In 20 years of doing this, I don't think we ever experienced anything quite like surprising 2,500 fans with an early preview of It Ends With Us, to everyone who showed up with their floral jeans alongside us, including Brandon, jeans handmade by me and Isabella, and Colleen Hoover being the mother in every way. Here's another outfit. I don't know what's going on here. And it's never lost on me that I get to play dress up for a living. It Ends With Us, 1 week away. Flower fashion time. Are there flowers on here? I can't see it. This outfit, like the bracelets, like, no. No, I don't like this out. Like, no, this is a cute outfit. I like this outfit. I like the shoes. I like the blazer. The set looks really good. But I don't know, this outfit. It's like flower purse, flower top, flower jeans. Bang. Flower everything. Upon fully interspersed posts about her new movie with ads for her new hair care line, Blake Brown, upon information belief, the launch of Blake Brown was timed to coincide with the film's release in hopes that the cross-promotion opportunities would boost sales for Lively's brand. Yeah, it seems like Blake Brown was doing their debut in, like, was it like August or something? Let's see, her hair care line. I mean, honestly, I'm sorry, but like buying her hair care line is not going to give you Blake Lively hair. She just has great hair. Like, she's got beautiful, thick, voluminous hair. It's like the whole Kylie Jenner effect, where Kylie Jenner had her lips done and then she's like, oh, look, all you needed was my lip liner. Like, no, girl, you're not going to get the same lips as Kylie Jenner. She just has great hair. All right, Lively also sprang in cross promotion with her alcohol brand, Betty Booze. Actually, you know what? I heard that Blake Lively doesn't even drink alcohol. She has an alcohol line, but if I remember correctly, she doesn't actually drink alcohol. Okay, she's wearing hot pink here. I mean, pink does look good on her. I think pink's a good color on her. Tellingly, Wayfair spotted the issues and called for a course correction long before Lively apparently realized the magnitude of her miscalculation. Wayfair CEO Heath responded to her organic online criticism by noting that many people are pointing out that DV is being glossed over and that Justin is essentially the only one appreciating the subject matter, whilst other may not be giving it the proper respect it deserves. As you know, this has always been a concern of ours. This is from Wayfair to Jamie ceasing Sony. Good morning. Sharing this post that's using the exact language that's been called out for inappropriately marketing the film. Oh, but this is like after August. This is August 11 when they're already like August. I think was it August 10 was when like huge tank. The Blake Lively stocks tanked. Okay, so this is the It Ends With Us. I mean, who wrote this? It Ends With Us. Who's in charge of the promotion of the movie? Grab your friends, wear your florals. I wonder if the It Ends With Us marketing team, I don't know, whoever did it, like, was it Blake's idea? Was she the one who told them to do the whole floral marketing thing? Like this outfit, like, I don't know what the hell this outfit is. Ay, ay, ay. I just wonder if, I know that they were trying to do the whole, like the Barbie marketing, right? Where it's like, oh, wear your Barbie outfits, wear your pink, whatever. And they saw that as like a really cool movement, you know, to really get people involved and then like go into the movie theaters, have a theme and stuff like that. And they were trying to do that with this. I think there's nothing wrong with wearing your florals because the movie is about this woman having a flower shop, you know, her hopes and dreams being a flower shop store owner, and then, you know, all that stuff. I think it's just like the way that they market it was just like, they should have just been like, oh, you know, like what's a color that supports like survivors of like domestic violence? Is like pink or something? I don't know. Maybe they could be like, hey, let's wear our florals in support of victims of domestic violence and the resilience and how they can come out of this. Like I don't know. They really had to just talk about domestic violence. There's no way they were able to gloss over this. It's weird that they just even talk about it because, like I said, when I first heard about It Ends With Us, I thought it was a rom-com. Yeah, I just thought it was a rom-com. I never seen the trailer or anything like that. Or did I? No, I did see the trailer. Did I see the trailer? Why did I? No, I didn't see the trailer. I just made. Well, I made. It's just because I saw the poster. I was like, oh, this looks like a rom-com. I just assumed it was a rom-com. Okay. But I mean, I felt like there was nothing wrong with trying to get a bunch of people to get excited about the marketing of the movie and then wear your florals to show your support. But they still had to mention DV. They still had to mention like, oh, let's support victims of domestic violence or survivors of domestic violence, and let's wear our florals to support them. This really, you know, gives empowerment to women to show that, you know, men and women, that you can really get out of the situation that you're in, blah, 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 and stuff like that. So it's just that, like, them just saying, grab your friends, wear your florals. That's it. It's just like, yeah, I can see why it came across as horrible to a lot of people. Like the marketing just didn't hit right. Heath and others at Wayfair advised listening and responding to the wave of online criticism that met the bubbly, sunny message that Lively herself embraced wholeheartedly. Jamie Heath, is this, who wrote this? I think Jamie Heath wrote this, right? I think so. To be clear, we're not saying that it's been inappropriately marketed in any way. In fact, you have all been brilliant. Thank you. Extremely honored to be partners with you. It's been fantastic. The proof is in the pudding. The post is about pointing the ones who spoke about the marketing, and while I'm not dissuading by their commentary, it's good to take some learnings from it. Did I see Ryan Reynolds promo of the movie? No. Can you link it? We can watch it together. I haven't seen it. Or can you put it in the Discord? Lively seeks to push the blame on two plaintiffs. Let's see. All right, Leslie Sloan, so the PR person, devised and executed a smear campaign of her own against Baldoni, known for her tendency to leak sensitive stories to provoke public controversy. Sloan reneged on an agreement with Nathan by continuing to disseminate false and defamatory stories about Baldoni and Wayfair. I don't know. I don't know how strong it is, the accusation against the PR person Sloan, because Sloan, I mean, like in a text agreed that they were going to let each other know before they engaged with any sort of press. And then, you know, she didn't do that. She didn't follow her words. And then when she was talking to the Daily Mail, she just wrote that like Justin was unlikable and the people on the set didn't like him. I mean, it seems like one could come to that conclusion, right? If everyone unfollowed him. Let's see if it was true or not. Okay, so here's a text message again. This is between Melissa Nathan and Leslie Sloan. Again, one camp for Justin Baldoni, one camp for Blake Lively. And they're like, okay, I'm not answering one email about the situation. I told everyone not to do one thing, plant seed, even speak to one reporter or even the background. Now I'm surprised now I'm involved. There will be no shock surprises to you. And then they write, me neither. However, 9 minutes later, Sloan breached her agreement with Nathan by engaging with a reporter at the Daily Mail. Daily Mail person. Why is this blurry? Okay, so the Daily Mail person's like, hey, have to talk about some stuff that came to the reporters about Blake Lively, the new movie drama. It's a lot to tags, but it's regarding the problems on the set that involved her and Justin Baldoni. They followed over that Blake being labeled difficult and a power struggling existing. They write back as 100% untrue. I don't want to go on the record. And they said, never on record. Your info is totally off. Okay. However, they wrote your info is totally off, but then they did say this. So Daily Mail reporter was like, okay, I'm just being straight up with you because that's how I roll always. I'm coming to you because I actually like Blake and don't want Daily Mail to fuck with her. One of them said Blake and Ryan insisted on rewriting the movie, and another that she got very opinionated over directorial issues. They replied back, what the fuck is going on? The whole cast doesn't like Justin, nothing to do with Blake. The reporter originally sought to publish a story about Blake being difficult to work with on set. After the report's discussion with Sloan, however, the story changed to, we have just learned that Justin Baldoni caused issues on the set. ... Enter Stephanie Jones, Wayfarer and Baldoni's embattled former publicist and critical player in Lively's Scorched Earth campaign against Baldoni. So Wayfarer hired Stephanie Jones and her team on May 2020. Jen Abel was the one who was handling the account on behalf of Jones Works. It was Stephanie Jones' company. They talk about how there were other clients that Stephanie Jones had that dropped her. There's a webpage that came out on May 8, 2024 called Stephanie Jones Leaks. An allegation about Stephanie Jones and her behavior, business practices, and mistreatment of Jones Work employees and the clients. There's a Business Insider piece that was titled, Who's Afraid of Stephanie Jones? Who's afraid of Stephanie Jones? Okay. Jones would regularly turn on deafening music so that she could berate her employees free of scrutiny. Employees would call in sick, and then Jones would FaceTime them to confirm that they were actually sick. In at least one instance, an employee who had taken a personal day to attend a funeral received a FaceTime call from Jones during the ceremony. Yeesh. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was her client. He dropped her. He had a production company, a tequila brand, clothing company, and the business partner as well, Danny Garcia. They dropped Jones. Jones was also dropped by Jeff Bezos, Sanchez, Lainey Wilson, Chris Hemsworth, Wheels Up, Ocean Spray, and Partake Foods. They said that Jones was volatile, that her behavior became downright deranged. Like I said, I'm like, who wrote this? Abel was on the receiving end of her outburst. Jones informed Abel's charges that she had learned through psychic readings that Abel was an alcoholic and a gambling addict. Oh no, not the psychic reading. On July 10, 2024, Abel noted Jones of her departure from Jones' work and intention to start her own business. Abel offered a 6-week transition period. So this is where we get the story of, Melissa? Yeah, Jennifer Abel. It's Jennifer Abel, right? Stephanie Jones, Melissa. Okay. Did she plan on quitting? And then at the same time, was she trying to destroy Stephanie Jones as well? Was she stealing proprietary information from the company? Was she stealing clients? And then it alerted Stephanie Jones, and that's why she decided to get into this whole, let me look through that bitch's phone thing. Or was Jennifer Abel a good employee, just trying to quit and then let her know, heads up, like, hey, I'm going to quit, like give me 6 weeks, whatever, and then started her own business. And then Jones Work, because she's so fucking unhinged, went after her and decided to destroy her reputation, at the same time going after Justin Baldoni because she was salty that Justin Baldoni dropped her and then went with Jennifer Abel. Which is it? Is it a combination of both? Jones took the news poorly, to say the least, consistent with her increasingly erratic behavior. Jones swung from extreme to extreme, 1 minute desperately attempting to convince Abel to stay, then next berating her and then cutting her out. It's kind of hard to see some of these text messages, but I will do my best. Oh, Shiro, you're stuck in this room. You can't go anywhere. You're stuck with me, Shiro. Oh, he's trying to open the door. Oh, you look so cute. What do you want? Are you gonna go outside or what? He's like, no, I'm not going outside. I just want you to open the door for me. Grimes. Oh, you're talking about Elon's ex-wife. What's her name again? Is it Christina Grimes? I watched interviews of her, really awkward interviews, and they're kind of fun to watch. Okay, let's see what's going on here. This is a message from Stephanie Jones, I think to Jennifer Abel. You just quit on Zoom with your employee, Jen, then blasted our entire senior team your resignation. Grow up. I've been nothing but a good partner and help grow LA from 4 people to 13. I'm proud of that. I don't want this to be hostile. She replies back, I'm not creating hostility or drama. You have and continue to do so. No one senior behaves like this. It's reactionary, dramatic, immature, sad. And I have been equally good to you. No one else would do for you what I have done. You'll see. Your behavior is appalling. You'll see. And I thank you for everything you have done and the many opportunities. All right. How do I do this? Zoom out, zoom out. Hello, zoom out, please. Okay, what do I have here? An email from Jennifer Abel to Stephanie Jones. Again, she writes this long email basically saying like, hey, Steph, I want to thank you so much for the call. I know it wasn't easy. I'm very appreciative of you, everything that you've done for me. I'm resigning, blah, blah, blah. I do feel it's necessary at the point to continue to move forward with my resignation. I say this with a heavy heart, yet with an excitement that I can take everything that I've learned from you as I start a new path with my own business. I know this path won't be easy, and I hope I can keep you in my life as a mentor, a friend, a close confidant, because I truly view you as family. It would be lost without your support, blah, blah, blah. Again, so she's quitting, letting her know. Abel's end date drew closer. Jones grew more combative. She was removed from client email distribution lists and left in the dark about meetings, calls, and events. It seems like Jones was trying to embarrass Abel and tarnish her professional reputation in advance of her departure. So here's a text message. Hey, sorry to bug you, but I'm on that redacted call, and the team let me know he put the notice in to go in the hiatus end of the month. In this is this final or just a break? And I was removed from the alias, I think. I don't know what that says. Is there a plan to let the clients know that I resigned, or can I start letting them know because I don't want to seem like I'm just stopping responding out of nowhere? And team redacted and team redacted and redacted and redacted and redacted. And this is not going to be a conversation prior. Now I feel like I need to protect myself and make these clients and partners aware. She replies back, hi, I only just removed you from those aliases a few minutes ago. You're still on Justin, etc. I'm not sure what you mean by protecting yourself, as the team has been actively covering the accounts and handling all the day-to-day operations and client interactions. Part of our timing of when to communicate with clients is guided by our collective decision as a team. We discussed sharing news with the clients on Monday, August 19th. She writes back, you know, that's not true, but that's okay. I really have respect for you, redacted, and I know, and redacted, and you redacted, and know what you have to deal with because you've shared that with me. But I'm also a real person. There's no job worth treating someone disrespectfully. I'm back in town on Monday, and I need to get my number back and pay for my device, so let's handle that then. Thanks. Abel contacted Jones' chief and staff concerning the release of her phone number. When Abel's joined, I feel like she's definitely learned her lesson now. Don't ever use your personal phone number with your work phone. With your work phone. Have it all separate, I guess. That way they don't have access to your text messages, your emails, and all your personal shit, you know? When Jones joined Jones' work in 2020, she ported her existing phone number, which she used since high school, switched to Jones' work-issued iPhone, knowing that she would have to turn over physical evidence upon their departure. Abel arranged for her phone number to be released so that she could port it to a new device, retain decades worth of personal contacts, photos, private conversations with family, friends, and confidential financial data, and access accounts protected by two-factor authentication. On August 21, 2024, 2 days before her last day, Abel pulled up to Jones' work office in Beverly Hills. She was confronted by a physically imposing security guard. There was an attorney at a conference table covered in documents, an IT professional, and Jones' chief of staff. Apart from Jones' chief of staff, Abel had never seen any of them before. After being ushered into the conference room, Abel saw the security guard was posted outside the door, blocking the exit. There, the attorney pointed the documents and told Abel in a menacing and cold tone, like, who wrote this? In a menacing and a cold tone, to review and sign them. I feel like we could have still got the same sentiment without having to have menacing and cold tone. We would assume it would have been a little bit contentious, right? Told the Jones work believed that she had proprietary information on her personal laptop. Again, so in the allegation that Stephanie Jones had was that she was alerted that Jennifer Abel was secretly like trying to steal clients and then trying to take, confidential documents that she doesn't have access to. She was like downloading them. She was sending them to her email, forwarding from her email to her other email on her phone to somewhere else. Like, yeah, it looked pretty bad. So I could see why they would take this with the utmost care and security, imposing security. Abel sent the documents out digesting their contents, again, because she was like really desperate to get out of there. She felt like she didn't do anything wrong, but she was probably just really nervous maybe. Afterwards, the lawyer demanded that Abel handed over her personal laptop. They accused her of having like 10 documents on there. They were unable to find it. And then they wanted her to hand over the phone. Abel handed them the phone and was ushered out of the building as her colleagues watched in disbelief. Dun dun. However, she went to the Verizon store. This is where I was like, no, you should have. Wasn't there a way for her to get all that shit off her phone? Couldn't she? Oh gosh, it's crazy. Couldn't she have gotten all that shit off her phone and then, or like gotten a new device, transfer all that shit to the new device, but then the phone number was still left there. And then so just wait until the phone number was released and then have, that phone number release the new device. Man. But yeah, she gave the phone over and the reason why she gave the phone over is because it seems like there was a false promise that they would release her number right away. They didn't. And you know why that's a big issue? Oh, for people who have two-factor authentication, which I hope a lot of you guys do, it's a huge fucking issue. So Abel went to Verizon, a short distance away. The Jones work chief of staff assured Abel and Verizon they were in the process of effectuating the release and to bear with them a few minutes. Abel never heard from him again. After 4 hours of desperate unanswered calls, Abel left Verizon in panic and despair. Abel realized Jones had double-crossed her in a very serious way. So here's a text message that she sends to Stephanie and Gordon, the IT person, I think. Steph, Gordon, this is Jen Abel, my new cell. I'm writing to you as a personal plea to release my cell phone number. This is the same number I've had since high school. This isn't a work-related thing. This is my personal number that is linked to all my bills, my medical, Chris's dad's living facility, all my personal emails, accounts due to two-factor authentication. I can't access anything. Gordon, you wrote to me numerous times you were going to release this and that when Verizon was calling you during the 4 hours I was there yesterday, you never picked up. They said you never even started the process after you told me you did. The lawyer I was ambushed with yesterday even said that this is fine to do. I've been nothing but good to you, but this is just mean and egregious. I'm begging you to please release it before travel tomorrow. Please, you have no use for a 904 number. This has been my personal number before you take on the billing. It takes one phone call, please. Like, oh my fucking God. Yeah, like everything is on my phone. Like the two-factor authentication, I can't get into accounts, I can't pay anything. Like it's just all on there. I can't log in anywhere. Oh. All right. It took Abel over a month to regain control. Over a month to regain control over all of her accounts. Meanwhile, she learned that Jones had been sharing her private text messages with the entire office, mocking and disparaging her, having torched Abel's privacy and dignity. Jones started boasting that Abel's business was next. In or around early September 2024, Jones warned a reporting employee not to work for Abel because her business wouldn't be around much longer. Oh man! All right, let's read this text message. This is with another employee. Oh, okay. I didn't mean to put you guys in a weird spot. So this is from Abel. Sorry about that. Just wanted to ask. Just know that whatever she is telling you guys about me or what I've done is not true. I've enjoyed working with you both and wish you nothing but the best. The employee says, unfortunately, your company phone says otherwise. Oh no. So you were talking shit to other people in text messages or emails maybe. And then that was shared to the employee. Tis. Sure, it's back about you guys. I've always been upfront with the feedback and have held your hands to set you up for success the entire time with JB. I've given criticism and have told you upfront where Justin has been unhappy, especially you. This hurts my feelings, but at least my lawyer will be happy to know that personal texts are being shared with employees and it's unfortunate that you drink the Kool-Aid. I'm still here when you guys wake up, sending nothing but love. Yikes, not the text messages to contradict you. All right. But yeah, that sucks. It'd take a whole month to get your phone back. I think a lot of this was already in the other lawsuit. In someone's lawsuit. Okay. So, Stephanie Jones. So Stephanie Jones was stewing in jealousy towards Jennifer Abel and resentment towards Wayfair and Baldoni. Stephanie Jones clearly saw the writing on the wall. Knowing that she's soon to be terminated, Jones would start taking steps transparently intended to make it harder to cut her loose. So essentially, Stephanie Jones was employing Jennifer Abel, yes, and Jennifer Abel was working on the Justin Baldoni Wayfair account. And I guess they're trying to say that Stephanie Jones was like jealous towards the relationship that Jennifer Abel had with Wayfair and Baldoni. This is not about Abel poaching Wayfair or Baldoni, nor was it part of a premeditated plan to cut at Jones' work, but Abel was a trusted, loyal, committed member of the team. Wherever she went, Wayfair and Baldoni would follow. On information and belief, Jones approached Lively's team with an appealing offer. So this is what they think happened. So remember, Lively's team said, they're like, oh no, we got the text messages through a subpoena. They think that Stephanie Jones got a hold of the text messages on the phone and was like, oh, let me go to Blake Lively's team. Let me destroy Wayfair. Let me destroy Jennifer Abel, Melissa Nathan. Let me do that with the help of Blake Lively and her team. So that's what they're alleging. Jones approached Lively's team with an appealing offer, ammunition sufficient to destroy Baldoni, Wayfair, and Abel in one swoop. Jones had quite the pitch for an embattled Lively and her team, knowing that Lively was convinced, wrongly, that Baldoni and not her off-putting public appearances and cynical self-promotion had been responsible for the rash of negative publicity directed towards her. Jones correctly assumed that she would find willing conspirators in the Lively camp. Lively and Reynolds threatened plaintiffs unless they take the fall. So I want to know more about this here. I don't think we have a copy of it. August 12th, so this is about 2 days after, I would say Blake Lively's reputation tanked. Heath and Abel had a call with two executives in the public perception. Actually, I don't know, but like, remember how I told you guys that because of like all the stuff that happened, I still don't know if it's like completely organic, but I think it's organic because it seems like it is, but you never know. On August 12th, Heath and Abel had a call with two executives from their then talent agency. One admitted that the root of Lively's problems was focusing the promotion of the film on frivolities like fabulous premiere dresses, Hollywood glamour, and the commercial benefits of Lively brands, while Baldoni also always maintained his public focus on amplifying the voice of DV survivors. The executive communicated the demand from Lively and Reynolds that Wayfair, Heath, Baldoni make a public apology that day. But what would the public apology be about, though? I don't understand. So if people were reacting to, Blake Lively, what would the apology sound like coming from Justin Baldoni and his team? Hey, I'm so sorry that people think you're a bully. You're not a bully. That I made things difficult on the set. It's really my fault. Like, I don't know. What would they apologize for? That would appease the public at that time. And then the public would actually understand, knowing that there was no sexual harassment allegation out at that point, right? What would he apologize for? What I'm asking. And that if they failed to do so, the gloves would come off. Suddenly, the executive even told Heath and Abel that Lively and Reynolds objected when Baldoni spoke kindly of Lively in public, claiming that it misrepresented their relationship. The talent agency executive told Heath and Abel that Lively believed Wayfair, Baldoni, and Heath were waging a shadow campaign against her. So again, Blake Lively doesn't believe that. I don't know. Like I mentioned, I think the hate that Blake Lively got, it just really didn't match the crime. I think she got an insane amount of hate, like insane. And I was like really confused too. I was like, oh wow, like I can't believe she's actually getting canceled over this. With the interview that she did was like really bad, but it was like also like a long time ago. Like I don't know, it was like 6 years ago or something like that, 8 years ago. I don't remember. I don't know. Like I thought she, yeah, I don't know. I thought they went really harsh on her. And maybe she thought the same way too. Maybe she thought that like she didn't do anything wrong and that all of the hate against her wasn't organic and that it must have been orchestrated, I guess. But I mean, I think some of the hate, was like warranted when she was promoting the movie and people didn't like the way she was promoting it. Yeah, I don't know. Right. That's what I was thinking too. So the apology thing. So initially I was just like, okay, well, maybe she didn't apologize to Shasti Flaw because she thought that she was part of the whole Justin Baldoni, like, sabotage campaign thing. However, they are still her actions. Like, even if she thinks that someone else is part of the campaign, they're still your actions. Like, she still acted that way in her interview. And I think she should have still been like, hey, like, damn, like, I didn't realize I was this rude to you. Looking back at it, it seems like I completely ignored you. I feel really bad. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry about that. I was having a bad day, or maybe I took your comment the wrong way. I don't know. I felt like even if she thinks that, the reporter was part of Justin Baldoni's like sabotage team, I think an apology would have still been fine. But I was thinking maybe she didn't want to apologize because she thought she was in on it with Justin Baldoni, but I don't know. At the end of the day, it was still her actions in her interview. All right, the talent agency executive told Heath and Abel that Lively believed Wayfair, Baldoni, and Heath were waging a shadow campaign against her. The second executive admitted on the call that no one pushes back on Lively and Reynolds. August 13, 2024, Abel and Heath had another call with the talent agency. During this time, one executive told Heath that the agency had spoke to Lively and Reynolds by phone about the overwhelming tide of negative publicity that they had faced over the past days. Heath clarified that Wayfair, Baldoni, and Heath had no connection to the negative publicity, but they told Heath and Lively that Lively and Reynolds had demanded that Wayfair put out a statement accepting blame for the problems during filming, with an express threat that they themselves would attack Wayfair in the press if Wayfair did. My other thought was there always rumblings about... Maybe there was always rumblings about Blake Lively. I don't really follow Blake Lively news, but maybe there was always like rumblings that she was like rude, that she was kind of like a bully or something. And then the moment that interview dropped, even though it was from years ago, and even though she wasn't like explicitly like, even though she wasn't like explicitly just like, I don't know, like I don't know how explicit it would have to be, because like when you're seeing that interview, it looks really uncomfortable, right? Even though she wasn't explicitly like being, I guess, like, I don't know, a dick to the interviewer, she was doing it kind of like in a way where it was like pretty obvious and kind of like, I don't know. Because if I was in her situation, if I was the interviewer, I would probably have been stunned the entire time. I probably would have been like, wait, did that just happen? Am I being ignored, or am I just overthinking it? Like, that's why I don't like passive aggressive stuff like that. I wouldn't have known whether or not she was doing it on purpose or if I was just overthinking it. But where was I going with that? God, I lost my trail of thought. Negative publicity. What were we talking about, guys? I forgot. Everyone has bad days. That said, I haven't yet to see an interview Blake has done that didn't make me cringe. All the other videos that they posted of Blake, like, oh, Blake is so rude. I'm like, I didn't think she was being rude. I think at that point, because people already were primed to have this mentality that she was like, a mean girl bully, that any other interview that we saw of her where she was like slightly, like throwing digs at someone, like, oh my God, that's so rude. It's like, is it rude though? Like, no, I think we're just like, I don't think so. But, I think what I was saying was, now I know. Sorry, let's rewind back a little bit. So, was there already rumblings about Blake Lively? Were there already rumors that she was like an asshole, right? And it wasn't until that interview dropped where people were like, see, I fucking knew it, because I kept hearing about that. I kept hearing about this. I kept hearing about that. And so maybe it was that interview that really sealed her fate, because it was already kind of like something that people heard about. I honestly didn't hear about it. Like, I didn't know that there was like possible drama between her and like other co-stars. Like, people mentioned the one with the Gossip Girl, the one that plays Blair, and then A Simple Favor with Anna Kendrick. I didn't know anything about that. I don't know if those are like just rumors, gossip or something, but I didn't hear anything about that. But it's possible that this could have been more known in like, in the celebrity world, celebrity news, people who follow celebrity news stuff. And then when the interview dropped, they're like, oh shit, see, I fucking knew it. Yeah, I knew she was an asshole. So maybe that's what it was. Because for me, when I didn't have that background knowledge, I was like, oh, like, this is a bad interview, yes, but at the same time, like, is it worth like destroying her the way that she was destroyed, and how she had, like she was almost obliterated. Because then afterwards, it was like videos after videos were surfacing, and then people were covering it. Like, damn, it was like wild. And I was like, what did she do? I haven't liked her since her Serena is it Vanderbilt on Gossip Girl? I liked her in Gossip Girl, but I only watched the first like 1 or 2 seasons of Gossip Girl. People were initially sure that Justin did something because the cast didn't follow him. He has Johnny Depp's PR team. I think it went both ways. I think from what I saw there was speculation that Justin Baldoni was unlikable on the set, and then the other speculation was like, Blake Lively also was very unlikable. I saw like negative publicity on both sides, but it was just like mild. Like, I don't think anyone was like, it was just kind of like there, But yeah, it wasn't until the interview that sealed her fate where people were like, oh, she's that bully. People would forget about it. Attention spans are short. Lol. Hey, Bly, how are you doing today? How's it going? Is it dissertation? All right, what do we got here? The executives told Heath and Abel that Reynolds and Lively dictated a statement. I want to know the statement. Where's the statement? That required Wayfair to put out calling It Ends With Us a troubled production, forcing Wayfair to take accountability for the problems in production. Wayfair, Baldoni, and Heath would have to acknowledge their own mistakes and own all negativity being aimed at Reynolds and Lively. But even if there's issues in issues on production, the reason why they did not like Blake Lively, or it seems like the sentiment, the public sentiment that they didn't like Blake Lively is because of the promotion and the interviews and stuff. It wasn't because of, like what was happening on the set. Abel and Heath asked the executives to clarify what exactly Wayfair, Baldoni, and Heath were asked to take accountability for it. That's what I want to know. They admitted that Lively and Reynolds were simply upset by how social media turned against them. Suddenly, the executive admitted that Lively and Reynolds brought the backlash on themselves, but that they were beyond reasoning with. He admitted that making constant threats with Lively and Reynolds' well-known modus operandi and their demands were not based on reality, but on finding someone to blame for their social media crisis besides themselves. Lively plays the final card in her hand, false accusations of a smear campaign deployed by the New York Times. So this is when, all the shitstorm was happening. All the Blake Lively interviews were resurfacing. The internet seemed to not like Blake Lively. And then things kind of just went a little bit quiet. And I remember sitting on the toilet and I was thinking like, damn, we're never going to find out what the fuck happened on the set. Like, yeah, unless someone comes out and just decides to spill the secrets. Well, that's probably not going to happen. And then boom, 2 weeks later, we got December 21st, 2024, the New York Times article. We can bury anyone inside a Hollywood smear machine. So this drops, and Justin Baldoni, his credibility was also looked at. People were looking at it sideways, like, there's something going on here with Justin Baldoni. Like, man, maybe Justin Baldoni is not who we thought he was. These are text messages, which we've already talked over in the previous other lawsuits. Okay. Let me make sure to drink water. I'm so thirsty. Okay, at the bottom, the case is a simple one. Lively used her power to steal a movie from its director and production studio. Then she held them hostage to her incessant demands by extortionate threats to destroy what they had left. All the while, she failed to understand the heart and soul of the movie she stole and the book was based on, let alone the intensely personal impact the book had on millions worldwide. When her thoughtless promotions fell flat because they focused on flowery glamour and cross-merchandising opportunities for her own brands, rather than on centering the voices of survivors, she finally got a taste of accountability. She did not care for it. She made one final demand to plaintiffs that they finally and forever fall on the sword for her by apologizing for all the things they had not done, killing their future prospects in the process. When they refused, defendants' gloves came off. They used their power and resources to try to take down the plaintiffs for good by coordinating with Jones and Sloan, master practitioners of the dark arts of public relations. The dark arts? We got Harry Potter up in here. And an intricately planned character assassination plot. They nearly pulled it off too. Okay, so we're finally at the legal stuff. First cause of action, civil extortion against Lively, Reynolds, Sloan, and Vision. Defendants made threats to plaintiffs that they knew would be wrongful, including threats to breach contracts, defame plaintiffs, and injure. Defendants were aware that the others planned to commit the tort of extortion against plaintiffs, and that each of the defendants agreed with one another and intended that the wrongful acts pleaded herein be committed. Extortion. So would extortion also be when, I guess, like Amber Heard told Johnny Depp that she would accuse him of the sexual abuse, I think, in general in their relationship? No, it was like, no, because the sexual abuse didn't come up until later. She was like, I think it was when, again, I'm not comparing Blake Lively to Amber Heard at all. Like, I don't even think Blake Lively is even near Amber Heard territory. And we need more information too. But extortion would have been when Amber Heard told Johnny Depp, like, hey, like, if you don't give me my marriage settlement of, what was it, like $7 million, then I'm going to let everyone know that you're an abuser I think that's what happened, right? That's why she got the $7 million payout. Defendants were aware that others planned to commit the extort. Oh, I read that already. Yes. Defamation. Defendants made one or more statements to persons other than plaintiffs, including without limitation to the New York Times, to the effect that plaintiffs engaged in, permitted, and or failed to prevent sexually inappropriate conduct towards Lively and others, and that plaintiffs retaliated against Lively and others for reporting the alleged sexual misconduct, including by propagating false and misleading narratives about Lively for the purpose of damaging her image and reputation. Plaintiffs to hatred, contempt, ridicule, or what now? Like obfuscate?
Obloquy.
Obloquy, strong public criticism or verbal abuse. Obloquy. Okay. Obloquy. Obloquy. Plaintiffs to hatred, contempt, ridicule, or obloquy, or to causing them to be shunned or avoided, or of having a tendency to injure them in their occupations. False light, invasion of privacy. Those defendants knew that public disclosures would create false impressions about Baldoni, Heath, Nathan, Abel, or acted with reckless disregard for the truth. Yep, when that came out, people were like, damn, Justin Baldoni, like, yikes, here's a guy who preaches that he is, a supporter of women, that he is an ally, but then here you hear him, doing all these weird things on the set and stuff like that. So yeah, people definitely had a negative perception of Justin Baldoni, and even like to the point where his co-host on his podcast quit. And I would assume that wouldn't they be close if you're co-hosting the same podcast? Baldoni, Heath, Nathan, and Abel sustained harm, including to their business, professions, as well as reputations. Suffer from grief and anxiety. Serious invasion of their rights to privacy. Breach of implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing. This is against Lively. Lively engaged in conduct that prevented the plaintiff from receiving the benefits contemplated under the contract. Specifically, Lively interfered with the production by making repeated threats and demands in order to seize creative control over production, editing, and marketing the film, such that defendants were deprived of the opportunity to produce, edit, and market a film as contemplated by the contract. Fifth cause of action, intentional interference with contractual relations against Reynolds and Lively. Lively and Reynolds made threats and or demands to induce WME, again, that's Justin Baldoni's, what is his agency? To induce his agency WME to cease performing under its contract with plaintiffs. Sixth cause of action, intentional interference with prospective economic advantage. Plaintiffs and WME were in an economic relationship that probably would have resulted in economic benefit to plaintiffs. Yep, they could have found him like deals and like stuff that he could have done to make money, maybe sponsors. Making threats and or demands that WME terminate its economic relationships with the plaintiffs. The relationship was disrupted. Seventh cause of action, negligent interference with prospective economic advantage. Engage in wrongful conduct by threatening and or making demands that WME sever its economic relations with the plaintiffs. Again, they're asking for $400 million demand for jury trial, which I hope happens. I mean, if there's no jury trial, maybe one side would decide to settle and then we won't really know what happens. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like we're so far deep into the trenches. We're getting text messages. We're getting these emails being exposed. Like, I don't know. Maybe there will be a trial. Is there a new Boone letter? Oh, I don't know. There's a new Boone letter. Oh gosh. I don't know if I can read anymore. My throat. All right. So, I mean, I think, I don't know. Honestly, we need more information. That's how I feel. I'm sorry. That's probably just a boring response. It's nothing crazy, nothing sensational or anything like that. I think we just need more information. So Blake Lively has alleged that Justin Baldoni and the Wayfarer CEO, that they were like sexually harassing her and other members of the crew, and they were doing other things that were inappropriate. That was unprofessional. It seems like with Justin Baldoni, he's trying to say that, well, maybe she misconstrued, or maybe she is misinterpreting certain things that I've done, and maybe she's straight up lying, flat out lying, right? Yeah, I don't know. We need to hear more. Need more information. It ends with us in court. Yeah, I've heard of that before. All right, y'all. That's it. I was hoping. God damn! How did people do this in such a short amount of time? Oh wait, upcoming. I'm such an idiot. Uptime. How long have we been? My God, we've been streaming for 4 hours. I was like, guys, we're gonna do this quickly. 4 hours. Oh my lord. Well, it's a good thing I ate a huge damn fucking breakfast because I wasn't super hungry, but my eyes were kind of like twitching out a little bit dry. Okay, so you mentioned that might be some Sarah Boone stuff. Let me just pop it into the Sarah Boone world really quick. Sarah Boone. I saw the state replied, and then let's see where we're at. 'Cause she's asking for a new trial. Criminal felony. But now that, you know, we have the words of the cast and crew members, and then we have these films, you know, they're somewhere out there. We have evidence. We got witnesses. So let's see what happened. Okay. Uniform, commitment, and receipt. I don't see anything with Sarah Boone. Let's see, what is this? State of Florida, uniform commitment of custody of Department of Correction. I think this is just Sarah Boone being transferred to prison, no? I think it's just her being transferred to this prison. I don't see anything. Correspondence filed from the defendant to the judge. All that. Yeah, I don't see anything else. All right, guys. So someone needs to leak the video. Yeah, I mean, honestly, where I stand is we just need more information. We need more information. I know there are people out there that have like really strong feelings against a lot of it towards Blake Lively, some of it towards Justin Baldoni, but I don't know, with what we've got so far, we need more. We need more. All right, so what are we gonna do today? So I think today we're gonna have the video that I covered, Sherry Frankie's book. The first half of it we've covered on stream. We'll do the second half of it next week. So the first half of it, we're gonna have the video go out today, or you can just watch the full live stream if you want. But the full live stream, sometimes it's just like parts where I'm just like just yabbering. So I kind of like condense it a little bit. But we'll have the video out today. If you guys haven't already, read her book. Get her book. It's on Kindle. She reads it herself. It's pretty cool. And when I say pretty cool, as in like it's cool to hear someone tell their own story in their own voice. Because sometimes on Audible, like I can't stand Audible where you're listening to a story and then the person reading it to you like sucks. But it's cool in terms of you get to hear it in her own voice with her own like emotions, I'm assuming. All right, y'all. So yeah, let's wait until what happens with Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. Justin Baldoni and his team, I think they said that they were going to release all the text messages. I mean, it's nice to have more information, stuff like that, but I don't know if all the text messages would really matter. I don't know if all the text messages would really show what happened on set, right? Like the allegations of all the sexual harassment stuff. I don't know if text messages would really disprove that, but maybe they'll disprove other things, like whether or not there was like a smear campaign. I don't know. We'll see. But they said they're going to release all the text messages. So maybe we'll get a different opinion. Maybe that's more information. But other than that, I mean, I think there's nothing wrong than just waiting for more information to come out before we really jump one way or the other. All right, guys, that's about it. I hope you guys have a good one. I hope you guys take care. Thanks for hanging out with me today. This was a long one. This is so long. Oh my gosh, my throat. It was a nice hour. It's 4 hours long. Ah! All right, y'all. So that's about it for today. I'm gonna go clean. Yeah, I'm gonna go clean. Yes, go clean. Have a good one. Yeah, bye guys. It was nice seeing you guys. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for being cool with each other in the chat. I don't know. I glanced at the chat here and there, and sometimes you guys were fighting with each other. But, you know, fighting happens here and there. But I think for the most part, y'all were okay, right? Hopefully. I couldn't really moderate the chat too much today. But thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. And, you know, thanks for being hopefully good and respectful towards each other, huh? All right, y'all. Yeah, we'll keep it out if there's any more development, any more news about this. I do know, in regards to things that are happening, Mangione has a federal hearing, I think tomorrow. I'll keep an eye on that. Brian Koberger has a motion hearing next week, and that's it for the near future. And then we got some Karen Reed stuff. Oh, and Karen Reed, the judge, Beverly Cannoni, has allowed the testimony of the dog bite expert. That's the only update that I got with that. And then Donna Adelson, I don't know, there's something going on with Donna Adelson. I gotta follow up and see what's going on with Donna Adelson. See what happens here. Bye, everyone. How are you doing today? Or how are you doing today? I'm sorry, I'm going crazy. Bye, everyone. Have a great day today, is what I meant to say. See ya. Take care.